my sister both can do it, so it doesn't matter. We both do the mac and cheese, the potato salad. People are very, they love when I do the oxtail. They love my
Oh, I'm a
sister's
big oxtail fan.
oxtail, like all of it. So we're very used to that type of stuff, and people don't have to worry when we're making it. They know it's gonna come out
I can dig
good.
it. I can dig it. Let me pull my brother Rolando. What up, Ro? What's up with you, brother?
What's up, Brother Wise? I am here again to preach the gospel. I'm so happy
Oh,
to be in the
oh
house.
Lord. Come on now, Ro.
All
We
right.
already
Come
started.
on now, Ro. We
Listen,
understand. Come on
Starting
now.
already.
listen, I want to get in on this potato salad conversation. All right. Next time you make some potato salad, Wise, I'm going to give you the key ingredient.
Hey, hold up, hold up. Before you go, you looking at somebody that doesn't cook. I can barely tell you where the pots are in my house. You
Well,
heard me?
well, well, I,
What are you
well. I'm
talking
just
about?
saying. I'm just saying. Wise, you walk over to the wife, be like, "Listen, one of my panel, friends told me about this. Maybe you want to try it. Cut up some apples, okay?
Bruh, we not putting
And just
apples in the
We're not
potato
putting
salad, bruh.
apples in
What
it.
are you
listen,
You
doing?
see?
listen,
You see?
listen, listen,
Uh-uh.
bro. You
Uh-uh.
gotta cut it
You
up
are
into
done
small little
speaking. You are done
squares,
speaking.
and
Oh,
and
bruh,
and
You done
Rolando.
speaking. You
Oh,
don't
done
knock it
speaking.
till
man,
you try
bruh.
it. Don't knock it till
You
you
done
try
messed
it.
up. You done messed up. You
Don't
said apples? Are you gonna put raisins in it too?
Oh,
No, ain't no Everybody know raisins don't go in potato
But you
salad.
trying to
Okay,
add
everybody
apples to
know that.
it?
What I'm saying is, you chop up a little bit of apple. You throw a little apple in there. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-mm.
Because it give you
Mm-mm.
a little contrast, that little bite of sweet. Come on now, don't
Hey,
be like
hey,
that. Don't knock
Rolando,
it
you
till you
had
try it.
some, hey, you losing fans in the comment section right now, bro. Apples in the potato salad, bro. You're
Hold
losing
up.
fans, bro.
Come on, man. Come
Come
on.
on now.
Well, you also gotta
Mm-hmm.
remember, y'all gotta remember, I ain't black, so I don't cook like black people cook.
What does
I
that
cook
got to do
like
with
Spanish
anything?
people cook, and we like a little sweetness in there. We cut up some apples, we throw some apples in there. If y'all don't like it, y'all don't like it. But I feel you on the raisins though. I ain't a fan of the raisins, but don't
Oh
but
man,
don't knock the
Rolando,
apples.
golly,
That's all I'm
dude. Hey,
saying.
it's potato salad. Hey, Okie Angel's absolutely spot on here. It's potato salad, not fruit salad. What are we doing? Seriously, what are we doing?
Listen, life is too short. Put some apples in your potato salad. You don't like it,
Nope.
you move on. You know what I'm
Nope.
saying? We get to
That's
try
a
so
nope.
little in life.
We not trying
I'm
that
just
today.
saying.
Nope.
He
Mm-mm.
trying
We
to,
Brother
hey,
not
he
Wise,
trying
trying to
that.
sell that hard. He
We
trying to
listen,
trying that
sell
listen,
that
real
hard.
hard.
listen. You gotta start backing me up on this stuff. But I do
You
gotta
know,
give you a heads up though. That intro was fire. I
Oh,
Rolando.
like that
oh,
intro.
Rolando, you know
Yeah.
what I'm gonna make this year? I'm gonna make coquito and more ceñado. I'm gonna make both of
Oh,
those.
oh, we speaking
oh,
Spanish. Okay, okay. Uh-oh,
oh,
uh-oh.
oh.
Well,
All
well,
right.
hey, since I
Let's,
brought everybody up, man, let me show some love to these
Whew.
guys, man. Shout out to you, Spaces, man. Appreciate you pulling up this evening, brother. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. What is that?
It's my duffel bag because
Oh,
I
oh,
heard
that's his duffel bag.
I'm about to.
Ah!
I heard I heard I heard Crystal got a
Hey, he
pull out
ready?
count.
there you go.
It's already packed. I'm
There you
saying,
go.
Crystal, I grow food. Got a pineapple right here. I got what's the avocado tree right here. I
really?
mean,
Hey, Spaces. Hey, Spaces. You notice since last week I made that weave comment. Her hair is nice and out and puffy. You notice that, right?
Don't
You,
listen.
you showing out extra hard this week.
Hi Celeste. Hi D Maria. Hi Hadassah. Thank
Hey,
you.
Celeste. Hey,
Mm-mm.
Celeste. Somebody has been putting fruits and berries in their head since last
Juices and
week.
berries.
Oh
Juices and berries
Lord.
in their head
Come
since
Oh,
on
it,
now.
last week.
Rolando,
it
you
looks
are going to
lovely.
get the brakes beat off of you today,
It
bro.
looks
Good Lord.
lovely.
Yes,
Whatever
you
you're
will.
doing, keep doing it.
Whatever you
Thank
doing, you
you,
keep
Hugs.
it going, Crystal. Keep it
Thank
going.
you.
Keep it doing. Keep doing what you're doing. What's up, Celeste? How you doing this evening?
I'm good. Thank you. Great to see everybody.
Yeah, yeah. What's up, Dion? How you
Nice
doing?
to see you.
Hey, I'm good. It's good to be here.
Outstanding, outstanding. And we have a newbie to the stream today. Shout out to Hadassah. Some of you
Hey,
guys
hi,
see
Hey,
her in the
thank
chat.
you.
Hadassah.
Y'all see her in the
All
chat. You
right.
know, y'all see her in the chat.
Hello.
Now y'all get to see her face. Go
Yeah.
check her out.
Hi.
what's up? What's up?
Thanks, guys, for having me.
Yeah, yeah. So Rolando kind of threw us off, man, with the apple squares in the potato salads. Ugh.
That was officially the first topic of the night, Wise. All right.
Okay.
Apples in a potato salad.
Apples in the potato salad. I've never heard of such a thing.
Mm-mm.
I've never heard of
Right,
such a
I'm
thing.
telling
Is
you,
that
I'm
a
telling
thing?
you.
Hadassah, you doing the apples in the potato salad? Is that you?
No, I'll do pineapple on pizza, but not apples and potato salad.
Now I'll do pineapples on pizza.
Me too.
You know what I'm saying? I'll do Hawaiian style pizza. I'll do that.
Yeah.
I'll do that. I don't know about the potato. Don't mess up the potato salad though, bro.
Like
Oh,
cereal.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Goodness gracious. All right. Let's get into it, man. I want to start today's show. I was watching the brother Vince Everett Ellison, and he did a video earlier today, or maybe it came out yesterday. And, he was talking about hip hop. I don't know if you guys have heard, but, rap music, there is not a rap song or a hip hop track or something along those lines on the top 40. And people are kind of losing their minds behind it. But as someone here that used to listen to hip hop, who no longer listens to mainstream hip hop, especially, doesn't surprise me that this is the case. I want to play a couple clips for you guys, and then we're going to get it going, and we'll go from there. Hit the like button. All my folks in the chat, hit that daggone like button. Shout out to those on the Late Shift channel, man. Shout out to you guys, man. If you are not subscribed, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. Shout out to you guys, man. Thank you guys very much. Let's get it going. There might be a little bit of language in the first clip. The next clip definitely doesn't have language, but the first one it may. Let's keep going.
You hang that gangster rap shit up? Yeah. And admit that we all was stupid. Even me. Got tats all on my face, did all that. All that gang shit. We did that. That shit's stupid. You got NBA Youngboy promoting peace. You got Lil Durk promoting peace. You got Young Thug snitching. Everybody snitching. Everybody snitches. Everybody going to jail and snitching. It's just getting real corny. It's getting real corny. Like, I mean, when you really think about it, like, y'all killing the shit out of each other. Y'all really killing the shit out of each other. This shit is a game. Who can kill the nigga the fastest? Not the white man. But hey, I think it's time that y'all hang that shit up. Gangster rap is corny. Because when you get older, once you get older, like 30-something, that shit played out. Because you mature and you realize and you wisen up and you get some guidance and you realize that shit was dumb.
Never thought I'd live to see the day that this would happen. But Billboard magazine just said something that just made my heart flutter with joy. It said in the first time in almost 40 years, there are no hip hop and rap songs in the top 40 of the Billboard charts. Glory, hallelujah. Let me read it to you. Billboard magazine, it says the last time before there were 0 rap songs in the top 40 of the Hot 100, you would have to go back all the way back to February the 2nd, 1990, when the top ranking rap song was Biz Markie's eventual #1 hit, Just a Friend, which had just climbed to climb to number 41 on the chart. The next week, Just a Friend jumped to 29, starting a Hot 100 streak of rap songs in the top 40 that will last for the next 35 years. And now, no more rap songs in the top 40.
All righty. I want to kick it off. I want to start with Celeste, one of the elder statesmen here. No rap in the top 40 for the first time in a long time. I think Vince said 35 years, which is, I'm surprised to hear it. Well, I can't say I'm surprised to hear it, but I got a question for you, Celeste. Is this a sign that the culture is ready to move on from the ratchet, low vibrational art form, or, that has become mainstream, or, are people just waiting on the next big thing to kind of kick things back off again?
Well, rap has had its time. If you really think about it, rap is about, I think it's 50 years old, or just a little over 50 years old as your genre. And so, it started out kind of underground, then became wildly mainstream, and then became international. And it was sort of the epicenter of cool, all sort of cultural pop life, cool life, sort of emanated from that music and was sort of transported to cultures outside of the Black community through that music. And I think what if you remember, Wise on your show. I mean, back in the early days of your show, I said on your show, the problem with the Democrats is that they have lost cool. It used to be cool to be a Democrat. Now, people who have to sort of do Democrat talking points, now they say they're independent because it's no longer cool to be a Democrat. And that has a lot to do with why a significant number of the under 30 group voted for Trump. It's very cool to be online and say I'm for Trump, and I mean, 4 years ago, 3 years ago, even 2 years ago, it wasn't like it is now. Now it has become cool. This sort of conservatism is really what's becoming counterculture, because the established culture is sort of that very liberal, those liberal ideas that have come through rap. But I think what this indicates is not only that cool, the Democrats have lost cool, but people are moving away from Black culture. And we should talk about who's moving away, because I think the George Floyd and the Summer of Love killed rap. And right now we're starting to see the effects, because I think during that Summer of Love, during all of that upheaval around George Floyd, absolutely put a distaste in the mouths of many white Americans and other non-Black Americans. And Black Americans are lagging and just figuring out, guess what? People are not feeling this, because what they're beginning to find out is that the ideas that this music expresses only leaves men dead, in jail, or at the court trying to get child support, and women husbandless and struggling. And once people have figured that out, it's not appealing.
Spaces, as I guess one of the younger people here, I don't know what type of music you're listening to in this day and age, but is this a sign that the culture is ready to move on, from hip hop?
I think it could be a sign for sure. The majority of my playlist is not rap. I am very selective with the rappers that I listen to. A lot of people don't think about this, but there's a difference between a rapper and a lyricist. And I focus on lyricists. I focus on people who actually care about the lyrics that they write. So I was actually watching a video of, it was NBA YoungBoy, and they were breaking down what he was saying in his lyrics, and it was 100, literally, it was him mumbling. Those are the people that I don't listen to. I listen to people like Jordan Lucas, who is I call him a visionary, and I it's funny that we're having this conversation, because I've been thinking, Mr. Wise, how I want to send you a few songs from a few people that I listen to that actually have something to say. So I never really rocked with the people who talk about billboards and all this stuff, because those are the people who make the worst music. And I think that's the conversation that happens with this, because the conversation is always what is the state of rap today as it pertains to mainstream rap. And mainstream rap, especially of recent 10, 20 years, has always been the worst rap possible, or hip hop, or however you want to put it, because on a grand scale of things, it's all rap. On the grand scale, people don't separate rap from hip hop. So yeah, I never really rock with the people, the mainstream music, almost in general, but specifically in rap. And I don't really care who's on the billboards or not. I listen to music based on how it makes me feel, how it relates to me. So if you're listening to NBA YoungBoy, if you're listening to Future, if you're listening to all of these the big name people in mainstream, then Spaces will not have much to say about them, because the absolute majority of them are trash. I listen to people who have actual bars and have actual stories. So the fact that rap hasn't made the billboards, cool. I like it. That maybe somebody will wake up and say, maybe I need to make stories that people can relate to, and not just what's going to sound good on the radio, because that stuff is the stuff that it doesn't have longevity. It doesn't even make it to concerts. A lot of these mainstream people and a lot of these people that everybody knows, are not selling out concerts, which is the way most people in music make their money.
Hmm.
People are canceling their concerts because of low ticket sales.
Yeah.
So I'm all for it.
Yeah. Hadassah, I want to get you in on the conversation. I don't know what type of music you listen to, but not seeing hip hop in the top 40, or not, seeing any major artists out there, really, really doing it right now. It to you, is this a sign that the culture is pretty much ready to move on from hip hop at this point?
Yeah, I really do think so because like they really just we were just as a whole need to go back to like, where we're from and like back to the basics. Like I really think that, you know, like to Space's point, it's not music anymore. It's not, what reaches our soul. It's not, like wholesome for us anymore. It's just like a bunch of like hoopla, Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think the major issue when it comes to rap music, especially, is on the mainstream. There's just a lack of balance. There was a time in the '90s. I got to say this as somebody that is I'm a child of the '90s, middle school, high school in the '90s. That when I was coming of age and I was able to go out and get out in the streets. The '90s, there was balance there. You had your lyricists, you had your booty shake music. There was balance. There were styles. You had your lyricists, and then you had those that could just kind of talk about anything. Now you didn't have the mumbling and things of that nature, but I think there's a lack of balance. I mean, you think early '90s, if you guys recall, self-destruction, what was that? We're all in the same gang. There was music that was promoting peace, prosperity, unity. All of that type of music is gone. All of that type of music is gone. And in the later '90s, when you had Mos Def and Talib Kweli, who politically I don't think I align with today, but at least they were saying something, and they were, trying to uplift the people. And the music today, probably the better part of probably 10 or 15 years, maybe even more, you just get none of that. It's all one lane, and it's just ratchet and as debaucherous as possible.
Yeah.
Rolando, I want to give you an opportunity to get in there. You can go with it wherever you want to go. But is hip hop done, man? Is it a wrap?
Well, I do have a lot of expertise in this matter. Um, Number one, I want to say to the girl, kicked off the video, she definitely like Danger. So if you like Danger, girl, hit me up. We go get some chicken wings, some fries, and then afterwards we go rob your local 7-Eleven. You know what I'm saying? But all that aside, we ain't gonna talk about that on the stream. Anyway, I don't think hip hop is dying, man. I'm gonna kind of piggyback off your point. If you Music is a reflection of what people see and what people are going through. So even if you look at the short evolution of hip hop from the 90s into the 2000s into what we are now, it literally went from club music, stuff you can dance to, Missy Elliott, that kind of stuff, to literally a little harder in the 2000s, to now it's straight drill music, and I'm smoking your homie. So this has all been just a graduation of what the streets are telling you the streets are like. You know, I grew up in my time, music was always seen like a movie. It's just entertainment. You listen to it, it's not real world, it's not real life. It's just entertainment. You sing along for the minute, you feel good, it uplifts your spirits, whatever it does for you, and then you move on with your day. But people are taking these lyrics and things like that a little too literal. But not being in the top 40, I just think is a reflection of the type of artists that we have. We really have poor artists. If you stop to listen to their music, half of them don't say any lyrics, half of them don't even think about putting a message in there. They just got a catchy beat, and then they literally just put gibberish over the top. So I grew up, Wise grew up in a different time, like he was saying, Public Enemy, NWA. You had Special Ed, you had Houdini. You know, you had Kumo D and you had Big Daddy Kane. You know, everybody brought their own flavor. You know, no matter who you were listening to at that time, everybody had their own flavor and everybody had their own lane that they were in. Nobody was alike, you know, and they even carried that into the 90s because you had your Nas, for example, up in New York, straight lyricist, you know, and I like Nas. He's one of my favorites, but one of my favorites too is Outkast, Southern Group, you know, totally different from what Nas is doing up there. You know, sound different, beats different, everything's different. So, me personally, I don't think hip hop is dead. You know, and that's actually a title to one of Nas' songs. Hip hop is dead, but I don't think it's necessarily dead. It's just the quality of the artist. These guys ain't got no message, man. You know, one of my favorite artists to this day is Tupac Shakur. You know, but Tupac was a lot deeper, you know, in his message. For example, I will quote one of his lyrics that really always hits me profoundly every time I hear it. He says, I'm trying to buy a slice of pizza with my last dime. And that hit me really profound because when I grew up in Jersey, a slice of pizza was $1, you know? And Pac lived in New York for a while before he went to Baltimore. So in that area, you know what I mean? You could go down to your pizzeria back then, you could get a slice for $1. But when you so broke, you looking through couch cushions, you trying to find a little extra so you can run down there and grab you a slice. I feel that. They don't do that anymore. Those days are long gone, bro. You know? There's no feeling to the music, man.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that. Crystal, I want to get you in here on the conversation. I almost kind of got an idea that you're going to take this in a different direction, but you can go with it wherever you want to go. What are your thoughts?
So I actually, because of my love growing up for hip hop and rap, I actually did a whole breakdown of this. I never did a thing on it, but I did a whole breakdown. And I think back to originally what hip hop was about, what rap was about. It was giving a voice to the people in the community who were dealing with racism and poverty and all kinds of issues. So I agree with y'all. We had the Public Enemy, we had KRS One, we had Rakim, we had all these people, and they were doing it. They had Kumo D, they had everybody, and it was a whole thing. I remember growing up loving Big Daddy Kane. Everything was Big Daddy Kane when it came to me. And along the way, I feel like it was underground, so it was almost protected while it was underground, and then it became an industry thing. And I feel like anytime the industry touches anything, I've been saying that in my conversations when it comes to gospel music, the industry touches it, then all of a sudden it gets weird. It gets very weird. And so for them, the rap now became about they want to sell violence, sex sells, so they want to push a lot of sex. That whole I'm trying to be careful for social media. Illegal substances culture was selling. You have people like Lil Uzi Vert who's pushing demonic aesthetics with what he's doing. It's a lot about disrespecting women. Everything is about trying to shock people and lead people down the path, which is opposite of what rap originally was about, what hip hop was originally about. So what we have is people coming in corporate wise and trying to push a message and a narrative. And because people want contracts, they're going to do what they have to do to get these contracts. When I think back to the women that were in hip hop, when I think back to Queen Latifah, when I think back to Salt and Pepper, when I think back to MC Lyte, they brought a different look than what we see today. The Meg Thee Stallions of today, that's a whole different look. These women were showing that women they got a rhyme too. They're lyricists too. They can do something too, and they were bringing a message. I still remember Queen Latifah's "UNITY." Love that song. Love that song. In fact,
hold on, MC Lyte, don't forget my girl, MC Lyte.
No, I said MC Lyte, but I'm saying I remember
okay.
2 years ago, 2023. So 3 years ago, I went to D Nice's concert his concert in New York at the Carnegie Hall, and the special guest was Queen Latifah, and everybody lost their mind because Queen Latifah was still doing Queen Latifah and doing it right. And it wasn't about selling sex, it was giving lyrics and things that people could understand. I still remember when she said, you know I don't curse, but you call me the bitch. Like those that moved me. I was like, who he calling? Like I felt it. Like, yes, she's speaking my language. So when I look at that, listen, I even tell people, Lil Kim, yes, she was the quote unquote sex pot of Bad Boy, but she was still a thug with it too. So she was right there rapping hard along with the dudes. It wasn't just being sexual, it was her being hardcore along with, she could rhyme with the best of them. But then we reached today where it's all about mumble rapping, it's about hypersexuality, it's about pushing excessive illegal substances, and this is what kids are hearing, because kids for the most part are the ones listening to it a lot more than adults per se. You're pushing a lot of violence and taking of people's lives. And the funny thing is, what we've discovered is a lot of these people that started rapping in this new wave of rapping where they're pushing violence, they're pushing all these other things, they don't even live that life. That's the part that made them look like punks, because you're out here promoting like you a thug and you sitting at home knitting. You ain't no thug, but you out here claiming like you a thug. You can't be claiming thug life and you don't understand thug life. And this is what people started realizing. Like, you're not about that life, but you sure talking like you about that life. So it started making people look at rap a little bit different. So we get to today's age where, like I said, it's a bunch of mumble rapping. All you got to do on social media is go viral, and they want to give you a contract. And it's like, they went viral off of one song. You think they deserve a contract? Why? And so these people are just out here just saying anything. They have no meaning behind their stuff. Listen, and I'm telling this from a very personal space, because many of you know someone in my life that will remain nameless decided they want to take their future and make music, and decided they want to be a rapper. And I'm like, you don't even understand the thug life you be rapping about. You grew up in the suburbs. So what you rapping about? That don't make sense. And the thing is, people see through that. It's very different from what we grew up with. And that is honestly why today I do prefer the rappers that are on that, and I see a lot of people say it in the comments. The Karen Light, who is a Christian rapper, the Marcus Rogers, who's a Christian rapper, the Isaiah Robbins, that's a Christian rapper, the Bryson Gray, that's a Christian rapper. We love Forrest Frank because they're actually saying something. They're not just spewing foolishness. They're actually saying something, and that was the appeal of rap back in the day in hip hop. They were saying something. But now
I'm not into the Christian rap. I'm sorry. That's just a little too
A lot of them
positive
are
for me.
so lame.
That's
I
just
mean,
a
that's
little
for
too
you.
positive for me. I'm just saying.
Rolando, that's for you.
Dude,
No, I appreciate that.
They
I
don't
appreciate
even
that. But I'm saying,
look. The key to hip hop is a good beat. They
back
don't
up.
even have a good beat. They
Back
be
up.
trying to rap like over an angelic beat, like.
Rolando, that is
I
not the
disagree.
and they try
I
to write
disagree.
lyrics
That's
over
not
I
that.
true,
disagree,
Rolando.
Rolando.
You don't know, because that is not true.
Well,
They
you're
do
gonna
not
have to
go over
send me
an
some
angelic
wise,
beat.
because that's what I
Their
picture
stuff is
Christian
really
rap in my head, like
their
some
stuff
dude
is really
like
good.
trying to
But what
rap
I'm
over.
saying is, Rolando, what you're not understanding
Yeah.
is that's not how Christian rap goes. That's the first
It's
thing.
not.
But the thing
No?
is, what you fail to realize is
Okay, just
they are
checking.
authentic. They're authentic, and that's the difference between the rappers of today that we see in mainstream versus the rappers that are in that are Christian rappers,
I
or
understand
the
you, Crystal, but
or the
authentic
Humo
don't
D's
sell
and them from
records.
back then.
Any record mogul will tell you that. That's why they dress
What?
them up like phonies. I
But that's what
said
I'm saying. So
authentic
that
don't
is
sell records.
no, it actually did, because now no one cares. No one is.
Okay.
That's why. That's why rap and hip hop is not in the top 40, because the
Okay,
authenticity is not there.
if that's true, ask old Frank Ocean how that worked out for him when he came out and was honest. And tell me
That's
how his
that's
record sales
that.
doing.
But he actually did well for a short time of being. He actually
Yeah,
did slightly well
very
for
short.
his thing.
Yeah,
But that
yeah, it
was
was
for
very
but that was
short.
for his thing. But that's what I'm saying. That was for his thing. What I'm saying is people prefer someone that has an actual message. And that is the thing that you're missing. We want something that has substance. You keep sitting down here about the twerk this, the twerk that, the things that they be the 6-7 crap that they're rapping right now to get the children to chant Super 6-7 that means nothing. Again, for people, it means nothing. You are just wasting your time. And so we're not going to invest our money into things like that. Why do you think, let's be real, why do you think the old school rappers, the old school hip hop artists, the old school R&B artists are coming out and they're making sales on tours? Because people miss the authenticity.
Yeah.
They're tired of the foolishness. So that's why
No,
they can come out
that's
of
our
retirement and do
old
their stuff.
look. That's our old behind buying tickets, trying to
No,
relive
there are
our
new people
youth.
there.
That's what
No, there are
that
new
is.
people there.
All
No, there are new
right.
people there.
Because
No,
I
there are new
guarantee
people
you,
there.
I show up in there, and I guarantee you, if I showed up at a Rakim concert right there, the only people I'm gonna see up in there is you, Wise, and Celeste.
No,
You know what I mean?
no.
It's gonna
I
be
You're
know.
not
up
gonna
real.
see
It's
me because
gonna
I'm
be up
not
You
going
ain't
to
there.
no
gonna see me
Rakim
Up real,
there.
concert.
real, like,
You ain't gonna see me there.
yeah.
You ain't gonna see me there. All I'm saying is that's the difference. That is why the old school artists are doing well, and they're even doing well amongst the young artists. Hence why, for this new generation, they got introduced to Missy, and they're like, "Who is this new artist? She's amazing." Missy, who we've known since I was in school. I've known Missy, but they didn't know who Missy was. Now they got a taste of Missy, and Missy is so unique and authentic. Who is this woman? Because it's nothing like what they're getting. They're tired of what they're getting today. They want authenticity. They want someone with actual messages. They want someone that has actual skills. Mumble rapping is a waste of time, and no one wants to hear
Yeah.
that. You have no idea what you're
I can't
saying.
agree. I can't agree because the
I,
mumble rap is the stuff that gets promoted the most right now.
well, it's
They're
just because
promoted.
it's getting promoted. It's not good.
Right.
And to be
Yeah,
honest with
I
you,
agree
these
with
people
that.
also aren't selling records. So yeah, they're getting promoted. I mean, you'll have people like some of these female rappers out there that they got a ton of followers and things of that nature, but when they actually drop a project, it goes nowhere. You know what I'm saying? It goes wood. No one's listening to this stuff. You know what I'm
I
saying?
agree.
So they get the promotion, and I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that that there was, I don't know how true it is, but there's been enough people that have said it, so I think there is some truthfulness to it. That back in the '90s, there was a conversation around the music, and they wanted to take the music in a certain direction, and a lot of these music executives played a role in that path to the music to the prison pipeline in pushing a certain type of music so they can fill up these prisons all across the country. And they said that there was a meeting way back when in the 90s, and it was orchestrated. And if you really think about it, again, these are all allegations. I don't know how true it is, but there have been some people that have come out and said that they were either at the meeting or they know someone that was at the meeting. They have come out and said that, hey, this was the plan. But for those of us that are old enough to remember, there was balance, especially in the early 90s. But the further you got away from the early 90s and we got to the mids, especially to the late, we really got away from the balance. And then slowly but surely, we just completely got away from it. I want Dion to get an opportunity to speak. But I think a lot of what we have going on right now, I think the people are sick and tired. No different than, some of the conversations that we've had on Fridays, around just content in general. People are looking for something else. People, I think, are starving for some wholesome music, movies, TV shows. People are tired of having an alphabet community agenda pushed upon them, in every television show, every movie, all throughout the music. People are tired of it. And I think, we're seeing it play out in the music, but I think we're also seeing it play out in television shows. They're not doing the numbers like they used to do back in the day, on some of these major networks out there. They're not doing that anymore. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that the people are revolting. And I'm a firm believer that people should vote with their dollars. They vote with their eyes, vote with what you listen to, vote with what you turn your TV on to. That's how you vote. And hopefully, if enough people say, nah, I'm not with that no more, maybe they'll change. Maybe. But Dion, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts are right there. You just began to touch on it, but I think it's playing right alongside the whole black exhaustion and just people just tired of that whole negative eh, vibe of what's going on in the black culture. Folks are just exhausted, they're tired of hearing it, tired of seeing it. Nobody wants to take time to listen to the stuff. We're already seeing it play out in the media and have seen how it is just it's coming all the way down even to the young people as far as like the violence in the culture. And I kind of looked it up because I was curious to see if perhaps you know people who happen to be Caucasian, if maybe they were pulling away and not buying, not purchasing as much of the music, and I couldn't find where that was the case necessarily. So I mean, there are people out there that are still listening to it, I guess, on some level, but at the same time, a lot of folks have just gotten tired. The like y'all have been saying, the message is not there anymore. And I think just in a spiritual sense, even just people are looking for something more and something different. And I just think it's a sign of the times, most definitely.
I just want to ask the question because I know you've been on this. Super quick question. Okay, so we said earlier that rap is been around for 50 years. So has rap changed, or have we just been hearing the same thing for 50 years and I want to hear something else? Because as you grow, you're supposed to mature and your taste change.
I don't think rap music has matured. Honestly, I think it's regressed. You would think that something over 50 years, like it would mature, would get better, would improve. But I think it's regressed. And I think a lot of it has to do with, some of it is cultural. Some of it is just the people, because obviously we see our society, it has regressed, right? I think we can all agree on that from a societal standpoint. And that's every demographic in the country. We have regressed as a society. But some of it also is there was a plan. There was a real plan. There's a reason why the conscious rappers or some of the best rappers out there right now don't have deals. They don't have, they're not on major labels. Some of the best rappers right now, some of the best young artists that are out there right now that really can piece words together. They're real lyricists. They really know how to put a good song together. The song has a message. They're not being pushed. And I think that's on the record labels and their agenda. Now, I'm at a point now, based off the information that we know now, I'm on anybody that's in the mainstream side of things. I think they're all compromised. Every last one of them. They're all compromised. And with them being compromised, they have to push whatever the agenda that the powers that run these daggone record labels, whatever agenda they want them to push, they got to do it because they're all compromised.
I agree with you. And I just say that because I feel like just like in any part of the music industry or anywhere in the entertainment industry, there's a line. I remember Maya talking about this. Maya came back and she said, you fall off when you don't come into agreement with some of the things that they want you to push. She said that, I forgot, bunch of, A. Marie said that. There was a few of them that said, if you don't come into agreement with what they want, the narrative that they want to push, you're not going to get these big contracts. So as to what Wise is saying, I remember sitting and watching battle rap, and battle rap was amazing. But you don't see those people anymore. You don't see those type of things anymore. Unless you go underground. That's what I'm talking about. Spaces growing up, it used to be mainstream. Like you'd come home from 106 in Park, or you'd watch The Basement. You would see those things there, but you don't see those things anymore like you used to. You got to go underground to watch those things. But even in that, you see very skillful lyricists, rappers that can do stuff, and they are pushed to the back, while people who are pushing a certain agenda, like I said, like Lil Uzi Vert, that gets pushed right to the front. Come on now, you will push the agenda that we want to push. So we want to push you forward. You will say yes. And if Terrence Howard ain't lying, allegedly, there were some things that people had to do to get those contracts. And the real people who were real lyricists, real rappers, they were not willing to do the things necessary to get those contracts. So I think that is why there's definitely a shortage of anybody who can actually do something. But I also think that I agree with Wise where rap has not matured, hip hop has not matured. When Will Smith decides he's going to come back into rap and start singing, rapping about beautiful girls and just sound like a 12-year-old, and you a old hardback man that has lived your entire life find the world, you rapping about beautiful girls, you sound ridiculous. This is the stuff they're not growing up. The adults, let me say it, the elders of rap aren't even doing what they're supposed to do as elders of rap. They're acting like the kids. Make it make sense.
Wow.
Listen,
That's so true.
don't go picking on Will Smith, okay? Will Smith running around here slapping people. You better watch yourself.
I ain't concerned about no Will Smith.
Don't go insult Will.
For show or what?
Will going through
and
it.
I ain't the one.
He's going through it. He's going through it right now. He's going through it. I'm just saying, just leave Will out of this. Let him make his little sad song about beautiful girls. Go on.
One of the things that's happening that I think is playing a huge role in this, sort of behind the scenes, well, some of that, if you know, you know, but the money that used to be in music, in the music industry, for that matter, in movies and television, streaming has killed a lot of this. You're not going to be and make the type of money that, say, 20 years ago, a Jay-Z or, this huge amassed, this amazing amount of money. It is nearly impossible to do that consistently, for sure, in the streaming environment. So I don't even think people with the highest level of talent are even attracted to it anymore, because there isn't much to get out of it.
Well, we all know.
You know what, Celeste, before you go, I do agree, but I'm going to disagree slightly, because the artists that are independent, they're actually not doing bad. The independent artists, they're actually not doing bad. They have a lower overhead, but they also don't have to sell as much. They don't have to do as much. And they actually can build a real following. A lot of these people, when you look at the Sweeties, out there, who, has got millions of followers, but can't sell tickets for a concert. And when she does drop a project, no one actually streams it. I guess people don't really buy music like that anymore. But so the people who can actually build a real following, which are the independent folks who are really doing it right, and they're not getting that shot in the arm, they're not getting those free spins from the radio. Those people are actually doing okay. No different. And honestly, I think when it comes to music, anybody that's still looking for a deal or a contract, I think you're hustling backwards. If you're in the music game, I think you're hustling backwards. Honestly, I think at this point now, anybody looking to do anything in the music industry or entertainment industry in general, whether it's you want to be an actor, a radio host, podcast, whatever the case may be, anybody looking for someone to sign you, I think you're hustling backwards in this day and age. There's entirely too many ways to be independent and have more control of your destiny, what you want to say, what you want to put out there, how you want to present yourself. You just have way more control. And those that want the deal, it's not about the money for them. It is really about being famous and being a part of that lifestyle there. And those people, they're willing to do anything anyway for that fame. It's not about the money.
And I think that machine that created that kind of fame for people, 15, 20 years ago, even 10 years ago, I don't think that machine is available to people now. I don't think that machine, because I think the technology and everything has changed such that, it would be it would be extremely difficult to make a Jay-Z right now. Not that we'd want to, but it'd be extremely difficult to make a Jay-Z right now. It's that whole machine that could gather behind some one person and push them through every facet of media to make them the king of this or that. It's not available in rap music and in most media right now.
I don't necessarily agree. Because you have some artists, and it's always been this way. Some of the biggest artists are always pop artists and kind of out of the box artists. It ain't never really been hip hop. You know, hip hop for the most part has always been more popular just amongst the streets and things like that. And you may have somebody like a Snoop or Dr. Dre or Jay-Z or Tupac sometimes rise up and you know hit the top of the charts and that kind of thing. But for the most part, the top of the charts has always been owned by pop artists, you know. But to give you an example, you know, the guy performing at the Super Bowl this year, you know, I don't like the guy personally, but this guy has billions and billions and billions of streams, you know. So, and then you can have a Taylor Swift, she has billions and billions and billions of streams. So, when it really comes down to it, you're looking at the quality of the artist. And when you look at hip hop, along with the fact that you're not selling records anymore, you know, and that kind of thing, the quality of artists is just declined, you know. And if you're just not good, people are just not going to buy it. And in hip hop, that's always been a problem because hip hop is one of the genres of music that is most bootlegged, and it's always been that way. You
When you
know, I
say
grew
most
up on the
bootleg, what do you mean by that? Like people
bootleg,
stealing the music, or
yeah, still in the music. Listen, I grew up in Jersey, you know, and on the streets of Jersey, just like Maryland and just like New York, okay, you have vendors on the street who are selling dub. Back then, we had tapes. This is before CDs. So we had tapes, and people would be selling dub tapes. You know, we were bootlegging, selling bootleg VCR tapes on the street, you know.
don't incriminate
And
yourself on the stream, okay? Don't
well, I'm just
incriminate yourself,
saying.
okay, sir?
I'm just saying.
Right?
I bought a bootleg version of Candyman on the street back in the day. You know what I mean? So I ain't the only one. But hip hop has always been one of those genres that basically the artist has always had a hard time making money because for whatever reason their music is for the people who have no money, you know, have very little money. So how can they go out back then? They would spend $10, or early on it was like $8, and then it went up to 10, then 15, you know, to get a tape. And you ain't got it, you ain't gonna buy it. But your friend will dub you a tape. I call up Wise, hey Wise, dub me up a tape. Wise know what I'm talking about because he old school like that. I'll be like, hey Wise, get the boombox with the double tape deck and go ahead and dub me a tape. You know what I mean? I know you got that new Tupac over there. Go ahead and dub me a tape, dog. You know, and that was always a hip hop thing. You know, I've never asked. I listen to rock music. I've never asked one of my friends to dub me a rock tape. You know, I go down to Best Buy and I buy a Metallica CD. I buy AC/DC CD. You know, but any other thing, it's just a rap thing, man. And they get a bad rap, and now with the quality of music gone down, mm, everybody's listening to old school stuff. Nobody's listening to this new stuff. It has
No,
no
that
soul. It has no
you're right on.
meaning. You can't
Yeah.
dance to it.
Well,
You
we
know,
don't listen to that stuff.
the only thing you
No,
can do with
they
that
did a
music
study
is
recently.
murder people to it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
It's
they
like
did
the
a study
soundtrack of
recently
murder.
that showed that the majority of the music that's being streamed is music from the 70s and 80s. Even young people are listening to older music, classics from back in the day, classic R&B,
That's very
Yep.
classic rock, classic metal. They're getting the most streams, and that's why you're seeing older bands, older acts. They're still out there touring like crazy, and they're doing numbers. And the younger groups, they can't tour. They're canceling those tours because people aren't buying those tickets. But who wants to walk around? Who wants to go spend $150, $200 on a ticket to watch some old guy walk around with his drawers showing, screaming hoarse, drunk, and high out his daggone mind, and probably can't get through the song? Who wants to spend money to watch that?
Yeah.
That part.
I
But
don't disagree.
and that's why. Sorry, Spaces. I just want to say, and that's why, because I even just went to Google it. Hip hop, Christian hip hop and rap has not made it to that level as secular mainstream, but they are becoming like
It's better.
as hip hop is dying, they're great. They're growing
It's
in
growing.
popularity
Yeah.
because they're coming. Their production is better because, like I said, I remember when it was like I would hear it, I'd be like, oh my gosh, this sounds so terrible. Like I would hear Christian hip hop and rap, I'm like, this sounds, oh my
Like
gosh, I
DC
can't listen to
talk.
this. Yeah, and I'm like, what is this? But now, like I said, when you hear the ones that are coming out now, there's one I was like, oh my gosh, who is this? Is this like I really thought it was like like a Drake or a Kendrick. Like that's how good these people are. And I was like, who is this?
No,
And
there's really
realized that
dope artists
these,
out there.
yeah. So
There's actually a lot of dope artists that can really rap, but they're rapping for the Lord, and they're really able to piece words together. And the beats aren't corny. They're not cheesy. And these are people that they've come from some things. They got a real testimony. I mean, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Bizzle or, the brother that I played him on the channel a couple of times, Call Him D. There's some guys out there, man, that can really, really spit. I knew you were talking about Kieran the Light. He's dope. There's a lot of guys out there that can really,
KB,
Lecrae, KB, Hovey. There's a lot. There is a lot. Forrest Frank. There's a lot of guys
Young
that can
Chris.
really piece
Yeah.
bars together that are dope. You just have to know how to find them.
Yep.
That's it. They're not gonna. And the thing is that I think the music would do very well, in mainstream radio. They just won't play it. But they just won't play it.
That's how Forrest Frank is. But Bryson Gray and Forrest Frank, a lot of them are growing because mainstream won't play them, but TikTok will play them.
Yeah,
So
they're
people
catching
get
waves on
together
TikTok and stuff like
and
that.
people are like,
Yeah.
who is this? And they go looking them up to try and get more of their songs. They're like, this sounds really good. And like you said, you want something that is not about we're taking someone's life. We want some good music that we can actually connect with, and that's what they're giving you.
Mhm.
More
I think
wholesome.
if we agree that the more available something is to you, then the less you appreciate it, then that applies to music of today in comparison to yesteryear. Because there was a point in time where if you wanted to get music, like you were saying, you have to, like Rolando was saying, you have to dub a tape, you have to catch it on the radio and try to record it with a cassette tape on the radio, or you have to go to a store to buy it. Whereas in comparison, now it's right here.
Yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
also think some of it is oversaturated, and the barrier to entry is a lot lower than what it used to be back in the day. And I think that plays a role in why the music isn't as good as it is. No different than, everybody can start a podcast, everybody can start a YouTube channel, everybody can do that. The barrier to entry these days is a lot lower than what it used to be. But, the music still isn't that great. There's a couple super chats I want to read, and then I want to keep it moving. Shout out to Philip. How do you say that? Is that Okaranza? Hopefully I pronounced that properly. With the $5 super chat, says, I still listen to rap, but I had to change the message that influenced me, and that is why I listen to Christian rap. Yeah, I'm there with you, bro. I don't listen to hip hop. My favorite rap group back in the day, Rolando brought him up, Outkast, being someone that grew up in the Atlanta area. Outkast, and then Goody Mob, hands down, but the music, even though, it was some cussing and some of that stuff going on in the music, it's still, there was a message there. If you guys are familiar, with Outkast or Goody Mob, there was a message there.
Goody Mob had a good song on that album, Soul Food.
Yeah, Soul Food is
And I
dope. This
bet
whole Soul
you
Food
what-
album is fire.
Listen, I bet you 100% they put apples in their potato salad. So
I'm sure they don't.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
Goody Mob,
I am
if you out
sure they
there,
No,
don't.
they don't. Mm-mm.
Shout out to
No.
Kiwan Lynette coming through with the $5 super chat, says, isn't hip hop, ooh,
An agenda.
okay. Isn't hip hop an agenda? It's lost its influence. We should all be asking, what are they using now? They're still using the same things, and there's still the useful idiots out there ready to be used. I mean, you look at the music, you look at, a lot of R&B. You can't find an R&B singer that's not borderline nude. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying not to be
You right.
too salacious, but goodness gracious. I mean, is that the requirement nowadays that, hey, if you're going to get out there and be an R&B act of some sort, or if you're a woman, whether it's R&B or even, I can't even say R&B, I think it's just the music industry.
Yeah.
They're all basically just no clothes on. Like, I
All the
don't
time.
understand that.
This is where the independent artists come in. It's just like R&B is my genre.
Well,
I
it's
can-
not even just R&B.
No.
If you watch clips of, the R&B, the pop artists out there, the ladies, not the young, not the men, the ladies, they're all with basically either sheer or nothing on, essentially. It's
Evil
crazy.
cells. Yeah.
They're wearing bodysuits, bra tops, and like them draws and share things, and that is the requirement. That's I just told my best friend today. I said, and people sold their soul to get to stardom.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because
Yep.
when Mary J. Blige can't sit her butt down knowing that her knees is hurting and she's still wearing them boots, that tells you something. When Mariah
Hey,
Carey is still
Crystal.
tiptoeing
Hey,
in them
Crystal, don't you dare
stilettos,
talk bad about those
I'm not
women,
listening to you right now.
okay?
When
Don't
Mariah
you
Carey is
dare
still
talk
tiptoeing
bad
across the
about
stage
those
in
beautiful
those
women
in
wearing those
stilettos,
skimpy
and
clothes,
she has to have those
okay?
men hold her hand to walk across the stage, that tells you something. When J-Lo has to walk around at her age to show us her butt cheeks at her age, and she's a
Yeah.
whole mother,
Yeah.
you clearly signed something that you can't get out
Listen,
of
they're
Absolutely.
very
those
nice
Yeah.
butt cheeks.
Mm-hmm.
They're very nice butt cheeks, okay?
Nobody wants to see it.
Oh my gosh.
I do.
You're somebody's mother. No, nobody wants to
You
see
know
that.
what I'm saying? Everybody's
Thank you.
somebody's mother.
But the thing is, there's nothing new under the sun in that regard.
No,
When it comes
there
to,
isn't.
to female, when it
Mhm.
comes to female and mass media, there's nothing new under the sun with it. It's just more of the same.
Well, it's more in our faces as well. We have more access to these folks,
Yeah.
than we did back in the day as well.
Mhm.
Shout out to D. Surrey, been a member for a month. He said, "Hey, Wise, I wrote a Jesus-inspired rap that I really want to share with the ARP family. Even Rolando would like it. When is the next open session?" Interesting.
Open mic
All right.
night.
All right.
All
Hey,
right.
We're doing
Wise.
open mic nights.
Hey, why? Hey, while we talking about hip hop, we could do it old school. You know what I mean? Like the Fat Boys, I do some beatboxing, and he go ahead and freestyle. You know what I'm saying? We can get it started right now. He ha. You know
That
what I'm
man
saying?
said
And
he
go ahead and
wrote
bust
a rap, bro. He said he wrote a rap.
Oh, he
Hey,
wrote.
D. Surrey,
Oh,
hit me up. If you send it to me, I don't know how you distribute it, but if you send it to me and you actually give me access where I can play it, and you don't hit me with a copyright, I'd play it. I'll give you an opportunity. Shout out to Philip coming through with the $2 super chat. Says at Rolando, listen to some Miles Minnick, you'll love it. Okay,
Wise, I
I'm
can send it.
done.
I can send it to you, Wise. All D. Saray has to do is send it to me in the Discord. Just send it to me,
Okay.
D. Saray, in the Discord, and I'll send it to Wise because I
Send it over to
send me
me.
music through there.
Shout out to Quincy James with the $10 super chat. Says, I feel for these people in Alabama. Their barbecue is so sad. Look at Quincy James, a freaking barbecue snob.
Hey, Quincy, I don't know nothing about Alabama barbecue, but I can't stand Carolina barbecue.
Oh man, shots fired at the Carolina barbecue. What, you don't like the
Yeah, I like-
vinaigrette? Which
No.
Carolina? South Carolina or North Carolina?
North Carolina.
North Carolina. You don't like the vinaigrette.
North
You don't
Carolina,
like.
y'all messing up. Stop putting all that vinegar in my pulled pork. Okay? All right. Next time I
It's
come
like
up to
you eating
Carolina,
pork
y'all
chop.
need to get right. Y'all need to get right. Stop putting all that vinegar in my pulled pork, man. What are y'all doing? Selling me a vinegar sandwich. What's wrong with them up there, man?
All right,
act
let's
like
keep
they-
it moving, man. Let's keep
Yeah,
it
like
moving.
the
I want to kick us
Please.
off. I want to do a quick little icebreaker here, and then I want to keep it moving before we get to the next clip. So this is a question. I want to start with you, Hadassah, with this question here. Who actually has it harder in modern dating? I don't know. We got a multitude of single women in the chat today, or on the panel today. Who has it harder? Who has it harder in modern dating today, men or women, and why?
Uh-oh.
Lord. I don't know. I think, can I just say both? I mean, I don't.
No, don't play both sides of the fence. This is a late show. You got to pick a side, girl. We watching.
I know. Hey, Crystal said the devil owns the fence, so you can't be on the fence.
Uh-huh. Which side you gonna be on, Crystal's or mine?
You don't even know my side.
It's gonna be the opposite of my side. I can almost guarantee you.
I already know that. Oil and water to the highest power.
Thank
Hey,
God
this
Celeste
is so
here.
perfect. You guys are right next to each other today. Hey,
The peacemaker.
Crystal, I'm just letting you know. Next week, you're gonna see Rolando pull up in that big fat gold chain. And he gonna have a high top Philly next week. You mark my
Oh
words.
Lord.
And you put me at the bottom. Put me at the bottom next.
Put her right. Hey, put her where she at right now, right next to me. Look, I can almost reach out and touch her. Look at that.
Please don't.
All right,
Hadassah,
Wise.
you gonna answer the question? Who has it harder, men or women?
Um, can you repeat the actual question? Sorry.
Okay, who
Sorry.
actually has it harder in modern dating, men or women?
Um, I don't know. I have to. I have to say women. I have to say women because I don't know. I
Okay.
think men, shut down or they push away or they, put up these walls and yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
we
know.
put up walls. It's called drywall.
Oh my gosh.
Rolando, who has it worse? Who has it harder, man? Men
Who
or
has
women?
it harder? You know what? I give women the edge by just a little bit, and you know why I give them the edge by just a little bit? Because they get lied to all the time.
Mm.
So I will give them that. Because if I had somebody lying to me all the time, it's like everywhere you go, you got just scammers running around you. You know, trying to sell you something, trying to give you something, trying to get something. Yeah, yeah. I had this conversation actually, dude, 2 days ago. I told somebody, I said, if God told me that I could come back, all right, and I could pick what sex what sex I come back as. But the only catch is if you choose to come back as a man, you can only live up to 60. That's going to be your life expectancy. But if you come back as a woman, you'll get to live to 100. That's your life expectancy. I still come back as a man, dude. I take them 60 years. I don't want 100 years, dude, of a woman, dude, of
Don't
being
get
a
yourself in
woman.
trouble. Don't get
No,
yourself in
no,
trouble,
no,
Rolando.
no, and I mean it in
I
the
don't know
most
where you're going with
sincerest.
this, bro.
Listen. I mean in the most sincerest way because actually, in a way, I sympathize with them, dude, because I couldn't live like that. You know, I like being anonymous. I just go to gas station, I get out, I get some gas, go in the store, grab my Diet Coke, some Cheetos, walk out, go home. For a woman, it's totally different. As soon as you get out the car, can I pump your gas? Hey, what's your name? How you doing? Follow you in the store, give you creepy looks. All that in the trip to the gas station. Nah, I'll pass on all that. I'm good. I'll stay as an unknown man. Just some
Celeste,
anonymous
who
dude
has it
running
worse,
around.
men or women, in the dating field, in the modern dating world?
I will say this is a good question because it's not easy. But I'm going to say men, and I'm going to say because men have to date in a highly effeminized society, which prioritizes female values.
Dion?
Oh man, wow.
Sorry.
I it is so tough. I want to say women have it harder because I'm female and and I know the different reasons why, but you know, I think men, it seems like men have so much more to lose. Like what Celeste was saying. The fact that everything is so, you think about things like the Me Too movement and just all of that. There's just, if just flirting, a man flirting with a woman, um, it could be detrimental to his career. So I mean, you if you're in your workplace or whatever, and you meet somebody that you like, if you acknowledge that in any way, I mean, you could get next thing you know, you could be hearing from HR regarding that matter. Um,
Absolutely.
I'm trying to think of let's see. Yeah, I would have to go ahead and say that men would have a harder time. Um, the fact that us ladies, we're the ones that get pregnant, but then they're the ones who financially
Have to pay.
get, yeah, they get the brunt of it. And you think about um, child support, and the courts and all of that stuff. I would have to go ahead and say men.
Okay. Spaces, I'll give you the last word on this.
I was asking myself this question for a long time a while ago, and I would try to, as best I can, compare apples to apples. And when I think about it's you really can't, but you can at the same time, and that's the struggle about it. Because when I think about and I've said this before, the amount of available women and the amount of available men, there are more available women than there are available men. And I mean, I'm speaking about that from the aspect of the amount of men that aren't married, that are literally physically in prison, that have their own situations that they're dedicating themselves to, that aren't gay. Think about all of that stuff. When you factor in all of these different factors, to me, there's you would say one man for every 3 women. So when I think about that, it's like, are you under stress as a man when you have potentially 3 women, or are you under stress as a woman and you have a smaller pool of men to choose from? But then also, what gave it the edge is in the fact that I have to choose. It's harder for men because you have it's a whole bunch of different factors, but specifically you have women that in one hand are they try to fulfill the role that a man would in their life, while also trying to they also abandon their role as a woman, if that makes sense. So you got a man trying to present himself to be a lot of times, and I don't disagree with Orlando when he says that a lot of women get lied to and all that stuff. I don't disagree. But you have, in a lot of cases, it's a lot of wolf in sheep's clothing when a man is experiencing life with a woman. Like she'll present herself a certain way for 3 and 4 or 5 and 6 months, but after that honeymoon phase, you start seeing the real her. And then like what Demaria said, we got the courts against us, we got society against us, we got child support against us, we got spousal support potentially against us. And I was thinking about actually, oh my goodness, the football player, oh my goodness, I can't think of his name, the quarterback,
Russell Wilson.
What's that?
Russell Wilson?
No. I can't think of his name. Anyway, his wife left him because he wanted to work. What?
Oh, Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. His wife left him because he wanted to work. But then when it comes to a relation, it's like women want what a lot of times what I'm experiencing in these conversations, women want what they want, but they don't want what they want at the same time. That's like a mind game that men have to navigate through. We got to walk on eggshells to figure out on how we got to make sure you feel comfortable in what it is that you're thinking, and make sure we're navigating the waters right. Because one little wrong step, you're in trouble.
Oh man, I disagree. I think I personally, I think it's harder for women in modern dating. I think the men that are confident, understand who they are, what they bring, can stand on their square. If they know what they're doing, they should not have any problems out here in the modern dating world. They shouldn't. The problem is we have a lot of guys out here that they're not handling their business, and they're not setting standards and boundaries. And I think a lot of that, because men aren't doing it, it may seem like it's actually harder for them, but if they actually had some standards about themselves and they weeded out based off of those standards, who's actually interested in them. I think we talked about this maybe a week ago or so. If a woman is into you, she'll do just about anything that you're into. She'll take the coffee date, she'll do the botanical garden walk, she'll do all those things if she's actually interested. But you don't have enough men out there that understand that, and that are setting standards and boundaries, and they're too willing. We have entirely too many simps, and we're going to get into that later down the line. But I want to keep it moving. I want to share this clip with you guys. There is a man who found his fiance crying at her ex-boyfriend's gravesite and got upset and kicked her behind out of the house. I want to play this clip for you guys, and I want to get your thoughts on it.
But it's harder for women.
You at your mama's house though. Yeah, you forgot I had your location, huh? But you at your mama house though. But you having the whole picnic. You having the whole picnic. You having the whole picnic. Who grave is that? Who grave is that? Who is Brandon? No, who is Brandon? Can you please put the phone down so we can talk? And today his birthday, huh? So you want to? So no, so it ain't that serious. But why you didn't tell me you was coming up here? Cause it's not this. Why you didn't tell me you was coming up here? All right, look. When you get done with your little picnic, your shit gonna be ready. When you get done with your little picnic, your shit gonna be ready. Man, get the hell out of my face. Get the hell out of my face, man. When you get done with your little picnic, your shit gonna be ready for you to pick it up. The hell out of my damn face.
I want to start this off with one of the. Actually, you know what? We're gonna start with the brothers. Is this a justified reaction? You know, is this a justified reaction? Rolando, what are your thoughts, bro?
Why this man he tripping over a dead man. Bro, this dude is dead, bro. He ain't like gonna jump out the casket and smash your old lady, bro. Chill out. You know, like you see the emotion. You know what I mean? That's what's wrong with a lot of these men. You know, I understand if the man was alive and kicking and they was having a little picnic or, you know, that kind of thing. I get that. But the man's dead. You know, just because you want to go down there, maybe bring some flowers, spend some time, you know, help her get over her grief. You don't even never know how close they were. You know, just because you with her now doesn't mean she got to stop caring about people she used to know. You know, it just doesn't make any sense, man.
I got to ask a question, Rolando. I don't know if you were listening. Okay. This man has his girl's location. Okay. You know, they obviously share a location. Yeah. She told him she was going to her mother's house.
Yeah.
She was not at her mother's house. She was at her ex-boyfriend's gravesite with this picnic and this whole thing, you know, spread laid out. So you're saying that he's not supposed to be upset behind that?
No, listen. What I'm saying is, when you go through the extent to have to whip out your phone, make a video, get all emotional about it, I didn't see it as that big to just do all that. You know, that's something, you know, you could have just talked about like really quick, you know, and that's what I'm trying to point to, the emotionality of it. You know, you're so emotional, like the guy's alive and kicking and is right there, got his arms wrapped around your girl or something. Old boy is dead, man. He's in the afterlife, bro. You know, he thinking about you as much as you thinking about him.
I understand that, but she is living in that man's house. She is, and she did lie to this man. You know what I'm saying? And if she's living in this man's house, and that's something that I don't necessarily agree with, they're somewhat shacking up. But why you living in this man's house, still grieving and still, you know, quote unquote, potentially in love with someone else, dead or not? Why you in my house in my face?
Exactly. And that's my point. You know, you got to ask the man that, because if that's his house or if that's her house, really, you know, really depends. In this case, I'm going to say it's her house, you know.
And she lied.
No, actually, it's his house.
And she lied about where she was going.
You know, but no, I'm not talking about whether she was right or wrong. That's not what I'm talking about here. What I'm talking about is the emotionality of his reaction over.
No, I agree with you there. I wouldn't have personally. I would not have handled it in that manner. Personally, but I wouldn't also be in that position either. I wouldn't put myself in that position.
Yeah, to like take out a video camera and like record and put it on Facebook, and you're all emotional talking about how you're gonna throw out and all. I was like, dude, that's a little excessive. You know, like okay, for example, you know, if I always put wives in these situations, but
don't put me in. Put use spaces. Use spaces.
All right, let's just say. Well, I'm just saying. Let's just say, you know, Spaces got his girl. You know, he goes to the park. He sees his girl, got a picnic set up, you know, wrapped up with another guy. And I see the reaction of Spaces like this man. I get it. I understand it. I don't need a story behind it. You know, with him, it's like, bro, chill out, man. The man's dead. You know, maybe your girl's having some kind of emotional issue, letting go. Maybe you got to give her some therapy, you know. But like his reaction was kind of nuclear, if you ask me. Like I'm just saying, over a dead man, you know.
No,
hey,
you can know. I would not personally. I wouldn't have flipped out like that. I would not have pulled my phone out. I just don't believe in doing stuff like that. But I got to flip this on the ladies. Celeste, you're dating a man. Y'all shacking up, which I know Celeste wouldn't do that. She's a good Christian woman. She wouldn't be shacking up with somebody. She wouldn't be doing that. But I got to throw it out there. You shacking up with this guy. I would assume potentially that, you know, maybe you're taking care of this guy. This is your dude. He lies to you, tell you, hey, I'm going to go hang out at my mama's house. You find out that he had at his old girlfriend's gravesite, and he done pulled out. He got the blanket and whatever other little incense and all this other kind of stuff he got going on. He's done made this an intimate date with the person in a casket. Are you okay with that?
So no, I'm not shacking, especially in my wing of the house. Okay, that will not be happening. But no, the picnic, the whole spread shows preparation. It shows intent. It shows forethought. So I think it's reasonable for him to believe that she has some unresolved feelings, and they probably are quite strong. It's one thing to pass by, put a flower down, and then, get in the car and go on about your way, but you want to stop and spread your blanket and spend time. And that suggests to me that you have some unresolved feelings. And I can understand why the man is upset about that. Although, however, I do feel like Rolando in the fact that at least publicly, in terms of the filming and then the putting it on social media, that there's nothing in that's helping him. His behavior is not helping him at all, but he's reasonable in concluding that she's got unresolved feelings for somebody who's not even here. And it really is giving the whole Jada Pinkett's daughter writing a letter to Tupac. Can you come back alive and make mommy happy? It's just, it's too much. It's absolutely too much. So yes, I do believe there's some unresolved feelings, and I would certainly keep that off of social media if I were him, because it's not a good look.
No, it's not a good look. I mean, I personally, doing what he did on social media, definitely not a good look. But Hadassah, would it be okay for your man to do? Would it be okay for your man to do this?
No, dead or alive, that's not faithful. Like, that's not, the morals. It just isn't there. That wouldn't be cool for me. It doesn't matter like how deep a relationship they had, even in the past, that they were best friends or they grew up with each other or whatever. Like, I really don't think that I mean, I know that wouldn't be okay with me.
Crystal, what are your thoughts?
Clearly they have trust issues.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
I think it starts with him, because the fact that she had to lie to him means that she felt like he wouldn't have been able to handle the situation. Hence his behavior, that he decided to pull out a whole entire cell phone and record this interaction. So he already told me what type of man he is, that they can't have that conversation. Now, I will never shack up again, since people like to pull out duffel bags. So see, I knew he was going to do it again. Never shack up again. But what I will say is I wouldn't even be stressed about it, because the reason, again, I don't know if this is somebody, again, there are people who have lost, if you are over this person, like, they've moved on, but that doesn't change your grieving process of that person. My grandfather passed away however many years ago. I still have moments where I just burst into tears over him, because I miss him and love him. There's a guy that I was friends with years ago. Nothing romantic. He was like a little brother to me. He celebrated my birthday with me, on my 30th birthday with me. That was the last time I saw him alive, and he was abruptly taken away. And so I still have, like, randomly, I will think about it and I'll grieve about it. So I'm not going to, I'm surprising I'm Rolando on this one. Again, this is a dead person that has gone on to glory,
to the dark side, girl.
gone on to glory, or gone on to God knows where else. Either way, especially if you went the other way and you didn't go on to glory, I'm definitely going to be sitting at your grave crying because there's no time, there's no saving your eternity at this point. So I'm definitely
Oh,
going to be crying for you because you're done lost. But to be jealous and concerned about someone that is no longer alive now, if she's in there and she's talking like she's accidentally calling you his name and she's accidentally doing, then yeah, clearly you have a problem. You're not over your ex. You need to keep it moving because you are still dealing with that. But you going to the grave and being sorrowful about someone that was in your life that is now gone and him reacting like that, no wonder she lied about where she was going because clearly the guy has issues. You have trust issues over a dead man. That right there is a whole problem. You have trust issues of a dead man? You clearly you got issues. In fact, maybe she needs to move out because if you're worried about a dead man, what happens if a man looks at me and I ain't even recognize you? Gonna freak out over that too? I mean, come on now. No, I
Hey,
don't deal with
Crystal.
jealous men.
Kenny Cooper said, "Skip the duffel bag. I have an 18-wheeler semi-tractor trailer."
Yeah, Spaces, go ahead and pack her bag. She done came over to the dark side. She agreeing with me. Send her on over.
Dion, what are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts?
I mean, this younger generation, I mean, they can really have some weird ways. Now, something I can tell you about me and my family is that and maybe some people might perceive this as being weird, but I was always taught, that grave sites, that's just a person's earth suit. That person is not there, And so when I was growing up, my parents, we didn't go and visit grave sites. That's just not, we would remember our loved ones, sure, at home or whatever, but we didn't go visit grave sites and put flowers down and clean the air. We didn't do that. So clearly there's something way wrong with the young lady that she went to that extent. I remember I did actually go to find my mother's burial site. And I happened to pass by a lady who, I mean, she was bawling at the gravesite of somebody to the point where she had thrown her body over the gravestone and was just crying. And it's sad because I'm like, she is so bound. It's like a person just got stuck in time. You know what I'm saying? And there's I don't know. That is a serious problem with the young lady. I think the guy, I mean, what in the world kind of fragility is that he's so threatened by someone who is deceased? I mean, I can see him being upset about the fact that she lied, and I can see him being very concerned that she had gone so far as to make a picnic. I would have thought that mentally something's wrong with her. And I can see him wanting to get away from her for that reason, most definitely. But why in the world he would speak as if he feels inferior to somebody who's not even in the earth realm? That's just weird to me. So, I mean, on both sides, they're both weird.
Yeah, they're probably both in a situation that neither one of them should be in, probably.
Definitely.
It sounds like this lady still hasn't gotten over the ex-boyfriend. And obviously what we're seeing is probably, the boiling point. Who knows how she's been. I think Crystal has mentioned it, maybe she had been calling, this guy's name, and who knows what had been going on prior to all of this. But what we also understand in this day and age with these young people, they pull their phones out for everything. They record everything. I mean, there have literally been people locked up selling dope because they were on stream live talking about how much dope they selling, and then they get the door kicked in. They like, I don't even know how this happened. It's like, you told on yourself, sir. So, hey, this is just the society today. People have to pull their phone out and tell everybody their business. Everybody. I mean, folks can't even go to a concert these days. People can't just enjoy life these days without pulling out their cell phone.
True.
Yeah,
They
bro,
can't.
I mean,
Yeah, well, it's 'cause
remember
I understand the just being upset about the lying. Anybody would be upset about that. But what I'm really looking at with him was his emotional reaction. You know,
Yeah.
there's a reason why that girl felt like she couldn't tell him the truth, and just mourn, out in the open,
That part.
and that kind of thing. So, and I kind of think that, in this particular situation, I think the guy's taking a little bit of an advantage, because if you know that she's in a vulnerable situation because she just lost this person, then basically you picked her up on the rebound.
He probably did.
And
She is living with him,
That's an
and
assumption.
this is enough for him to get upset and say, "Hey, I'm putting your stuff out." So, I mean, could this be a situation to where, yeah, she's not really into the guy, but I need a place to stay. Winter is
Exactly.
here. Winter
What's
is
going on
here.
So let's say
But
it
I-
herself. She said,
But I like what I
men
like what
are
somebody said in the
opportunists.
comments. I like what somebody said in the comments. So are you trying to say if my first wife died and I remarried and I go to her gravesite because I still love my first wife. She's gone on. I have moved on, but I still have love for her. Is it wrong
Clearly
for me
you
to
haven't.
cry?
No,
No, you still
not
love
at all.
somebody
I don't
even if
think
they
so.
die.
No, you
I don't think
shouldn't.
so.
No.
If that's something that you want to do, but I mean, I think you should be truthful about it. I think you should be upfront,
I agree.
about
That's
your
why I said
intent.
that's why I say I feel like there's trust issues clearly there, and rightfully so, because if she couldn't just say I'm going to the gravesite, let's just say she never called him her name or called him her ex's name or never any of these things, and she felt it necessary to lie where she was going. You have to think about what goes on in that relationship that you can just say, babe, I'm going to my ex's or my ex whatever gravesite. He died today. Today is whatever. Why couldn't you have said that? But then you see his reaction, and his reaction, like today's most young people, we have to put everything on the internet. So I'm going to show you the interaction of me blowing up at her so everybody can see that. It makes it, you kind of see why she lied. Not justifiable, but maybe she felt I can't tell you that because I walked on the street and somebody looks at me and you mad at me because they look at me. I ain't make them look at me, but you mad because they looking at me. You freaking out over a dead person? I just can't.
No, stop it.
Mad at me.
Get in there, spaces. Get in there, spaces. Go and clean this
man.
up, bro.
Oh man, this is getting crazy now. We're focusing on the reaction of the man and not the action of the girl. Come
No,
on
I
now.
said she was wrong. I literally said she's
Oh,
wrong.
the
I said
girl
she's
is
wrong.
weird.
Another reason
She's
why
wrong
I
and
said
weird.
men. Another reason, and I didn't think about this when we asked the question. When Wise asked the question before. This is another reason why men have it harder, and when it comes to the dating market, because we can't react to anything. Like we always say that you can't control how a person reacts to what it is that they experience. Now, I will say that I think, because I see a lot of these things on social media, I think this particular video was a skit. However, I'm sure that somebody is actually going, and why would you, and Rolando said this earlier, I think this is the first time I disagree with Rolando. He said, maybe you need to get her some therapy. She should already have that fixed before she get with me.
Facts.
For real.
No, don't do that, Spaces.
If you're getting with me, that means you're choosing me. That means you're going to focus on me. That means that this person that is your ex is no longer in your life. And I understand that your feelings don't just go away because you're human. I'm saying when it comes to you making this conscientious effort to lie to me, tell me that you're going to your mother's house and then you brought out a picnic for
right,
you
you
and the
romancing a deceased person. That's weird.
Everybody,
if you're going to be with me,
everybody ain't as holy as you.
Rolando, hold on. I wanted to say
like
this,
I'm not
Spaces,
as
real
holy
quick.
as you. So if I see her and I see she vulnerable, you know what I'm
That's
saying?
what I
I
was
may
about
try
to
to
say.
pick that up and go ahead and smash that.
That's an
That's
assumption.
I actually want everybody
I'm just telling you,
everybody in here. Crystal
I'm just
agrees
telling you
with
the normal
Rolando
nature of
because
most men.
men do that. They will see you at your vulnerable space and say, "Baby, I will be with you and help you get you through," because they want to smash. I have seen men do that, so they'll be like, "Baby, it's okay. I got you."
Hey, Crystal, I agree with you. I've done it like 5 times. I take them to Firehouse Subs afterwards. You know what I'm saying? We go get a hook and ladder. You know what I'm saying? And that be the end.
They will legit say, baby, it's okay. I know you're grieving about your ex, but I'm going to be the strength that you need right now. And you're like, no, I need therapy. I need a moment. No. You need a strong man to stand by you. And you sitting down here thinking some girl in her vulnerable stage, well, maybe I do need that. I need someone to help me get through it. And then you're going to turn around and be mad like this after you told me that you got my back during my weak moment, sir, because you wanted to smash? Is that why? Because you wanted to smash?
Aren't women supposed to be the most emotionally intelligent ones?
So not when you're vulnerable like that.
People are justifying in this conversation and in the chat that this lady was cheating because she was emotional about her ex.
She wasn't cheating.
She's clearly emotionally attached to him.
Was she sleep with the dead man? I'm sorry. Were they
Well, I mean, there is a such thing as emotional cheating, but I want Celeste to get in there. What are your thoughts, Celeste?
So I want to go with spaces on this because this is sort of what I said earlier. The lying is a big deal, and to me, the big deal is how much effort she put into the picnic, because that's what suggests to me that she has unresolved feelings for the dead man. It's not that the dead man's going to come back and date her and they're going to come together. It's that you have to have some unresolved feelings. And think about it, even if she was going to tell him, she was going to say, hey, where you going today? Oh, I'm going to run by the cemetery because it's, so-and-so's birthday. And, oh, really? Well, what are you making? Oh, I'm making all his favorite foods and I'm preparing them just the way he used to like it. It's too much. Now, to Crystal's point, and I gotta go with her on this one. Men love broke down women. Y'all love a woman.
I love them.
Come on now, don't. Come on now, Celeste. You can't generalize us like that now.
I'm gonna tell you a story.
I love them. If y'all out there, hit me up. My number is no.
Come on, Rolando.
Look, and let me tell you this, and this would be my dating advice. Okay, if you like a guy and you like a guy, and you want that guy to notice you, go wherever he is and fall. They will run to your men love. Now, if you standing up,
damsel in distress.
Yes. Go someplace and fall.
I didn't think that was a thing anymore.
Have any kind of distress of physically something that men cannot stop themselves.
Maybe I need to try that.
Yeah. I tell women this all.
That's one thing I haven't tried.
If the girl says to me, "Oh, I have some younger relatives, and I like this guy," and I'm like, fall in front of him.
I don't disagree.
Collapse. Oh, he will love it. He will love it. So the problem with this gentleman is he may have been trying to, as you say, smash, but the problem with that is you put her in your house.
Yeah.
Okay. If you were just trying to smash, under no circumstances you should have brought her into your home. I mean,
I'll bring it to my house. Listen, come on over. Okay, I love broken. Okay, and when I see that vulnerable man, I'm like a jungle cat, bro. I'm just like,
you see. And then he'll teach you to put apples inside a potato salad.
Anybody in the chat, you go to Home Depot and fall and see if three men don't come running to you.
Celeste, you're spot on, because I could go into Home Depot and be like, oh my gosh, I don't understand what this tool is. And a bunch of, you need to use it for this and that. And that's what they look for. Someone that is just helpless.
To death on it, yes.
Listen, hey, Wise, drop my email in the chat because I sense there's a lot of broken women in the chat tonight.
Oh my goodness.
So go ahead and drop my email down in there.
Cut it out.
The ladies in the chat, I don't know if they're going to like you too much today, man. Deb Longo said, this dude's an idiot. Yeah, this dude's an idiot. You know. Shout out to Jeremy. Said, dude, you trying to defend the girl's action is simping. He talking about you, Rolando. Simping. Who would have thought Rolando out here simping out here in these streets?
Hey,
Who would have thought
hey,
it?
hey, Wise, he hasn't seen past shows. And Debbie, you still fine, girl. I ain't mad at you.
This is the thing.
Wait,
I
was
won't-
it a pic? Sorry,
I
I'll
don't know if it
say-
was a picnic.
I'll be super
was it a
quick.
picnic or a séance?
I feel like,
Like-
it was a seance. I don't know if it was a picnic.
I mean,
I don't know. I saw some candles, some incense. You know, you don't know.
And
You
you
don't
didn't
really know
see
what she was
food.
doing.
Did you
Ain't
see
no
food? Though?
telling.
I never saw food because
So-
he said picnic. I was like, food.
You know, I ain't here to be one-sided.
That's-
I'm here to be impartial. You know, so
Listen,
if you're
listen,
expecting for me
Rolando,
to
this is a
side
monumental.
on every issue with the men, then dude, you got me confused. I look at stuff and the way I see it is how I see it. And dude had an emotional reaction, dude. I mean, the man dead, bro. If the man was alive and he chilling with your girl, hey, bro, by all means, walk up. You know, put the man in some kind of WWE move. You know what I'm saying, and do your thing. But outside of that, the man dead, bro. He dead.
The issue is
All right.
her body
Chill
is
out.
with you, but her heart and emotions is still with him.
yeah,
Facts.
yep.
That's
Facts.
the problem.
That's
Yeah,
it.
but his
The brother
problem is
Jeremy
you-
said it. He said Spaces gets it, man.
No,
Hey.
bro, you trying to wife broken women. What is wrong with you? You the
He just
ultimate
found,
simp.
according to the
Out
video,
here
he
trying
just
to
found
wife
it out.
broken women. What you doing? It's like, bro, I'm buying a car that don't drive. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, if I'm gonna get something, I'm gonna get something that's already ready to go. I ain't gonna get something that need work.
Rolando,
She need
this
work.
is so crazy because I
Careful
agree
what
with
you
you
put in your house.
so much because I have seen my male friends here in the ATL and I'd be like, leave that girl alone. She's troubled. Nah, she good. She good. And I'm like, no, she's a problem. Nah, she good. She good. Then 3, 4, 5 months down the line, she crazy. But I told you to leave her alone. Why were you bothering her? I told you that she had issues. Men do that all the time. So that's why it's very Spaces. I agree with you. It was wrong of her to lie. I am not justifying her lying. I don't agree with her lying. What I am saying is that in it, that man had to have known, unless they just got together yesterday and he moves her in, that man had to have known. This wasn't something that you didn't know. So there would have been signs.
That's the reason he
Here's the
followed her. He
question.
followed her there.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Do
he
you have her
knew.
location? Wait. Back up. Y'all forgot the key thing. No wonder she lied. The man has her location. Why
She
do you
shared it
have
with
my-
him. Do you think that she
No.
did he ask for it or
No,
did
I
she
don't think
share
he
it with
asked
him?
because he said, I have your location. You don't even know. You said you was at your mom. So he said you didn't even know. So why does he have my
okay.
location?
He might be a little special.
So that's what I'm
That's
saying.
what
That
I
man
said
has
earlier.
issues.
That's what I said earlier when I
Issues.
started talking. I said, dude, there's a reason why she hid, why she went there, because this dude's a freaking psycho. And then the dude in the chat tried to attack me, talking about I'm simping. I ain't simping. Dude, you just need to listen to the conversation, bro. Open your ears. That's why God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth, because you're going to do more listening than talking in your
You
life.
gave him 2 hands though.
It don't matter.
Spaces, you're going in the corner
He doing
now.
more. He doing more talking than he doing listening. You know, what
I
I mean?
hadn't
Go
looked
ahead
at
and
it that.
listen.
I hadn't looked at it that way. I was
Shout out
thinking
to
that she was the cuckoo.
shout out to Deb coming through with the $10 super chat. Says Rolando with the exclamation marks. No, LOL. You are not an idiot. I meant the boyfriend that's alive is the idiot. The dude is bipolar. LOL. She is scared of him. Thank you, Deb.
How do
thank
you
you so
know
much,
that
Debbie.
from
You
the
know what?
video? It's
You know
just
what?
a
You just got
reaction.
No,
3
we
points hotter.
investigate everything. We investigate everything. The fact
Rolando,
that-
you a nut. What'd you say,
Listen,
Rolando?
Debbie just got 3 points hotter. Thank you, Debbie. All
Oh my
right.
gosh.
You just
Look
went from
out,
a 10
Deb.
to a 13.
Look out,
You
Deb.
know,
So
I appreciate you, girl.
This
last
guy,
one.
yo. I got a question to ask you guys, and I want to start with we'll start with Crystal. Who's more delusional about their dating value? Who has more unrealistic standards, modern men or modern women?
modern woman.
So,
Modern woman. Lord, modern woman. They want they want the devil. They want 666. Like they want 666 for real in their man. And they expect every man to be 666. And if you don't fall into that line of 666, then you're not good enough. Listen, that's why I said I'll take the blue collar. Y'all can keep running after those 666. I'm snatching the blue
Shoot, I will
collars.
too.
Listen. And don't come for my blue collars,
The
not
blue
you know.
collars making money.
Do not come for them. Thank you. That was a public service announcement. Leave
Look
my
at
blue
that. All the
collars alone.
chat says women. All the chat saying the women have
Wait,
the most delusional about their dating value. Go
Okay,
on,
now I'm
get in there,
confused.
Celeste. What are your thoughts? Who's more delusional about the dating value, the men or the women?
Absolutely women. Absolutely women. This goes back to something that I've said before. I think that women approach dating in the same spirit in which they have been taught to approach everything else in their life, which is compromise. It's not an option, that there is nothing that they cannot have. You can have it all, girl. You can have it all. And so it is very difficult. I told you, Kevin Samuels used to say that smart women settle. And that's very contradictory to everything that most women of at least the last two, really 3 generations have learned, which is that there is no settling. You settle for nothing in life. You can have it all. And you should be striving to have it all at all times. So even if you don't have it all now, fine. You should always be striving to have it all. And so I think that makes women have a very difficult time in the reality of what they can get, what kind of man they can get, and what kind of relationship they can absolutely have. I think men kind of settle those issues in and among themselves very early. They pretty much know, this is who I am, this is what I make, this is the kind of house I'm going to live in, this is the kind of lifestyle I can have. And they make their peace with that, and then they go out to enjoy that which they can create. Women do not do that. Women say, I'm here now, but I can get there.
I agree with you. I definitely think that, modern women a lot more delusional, but a lot of it is the men. The men have caused this. There's too many simps that are out there in the world, man, that have, just blew up a lot of these women's heads. And men are opportunists. A really nice looking man, a man that would fall in the category of 8, 9, and 10 would deal with a 2, 3, 4, 5 just because it's easy and accessible.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, because a lot of women, I think Kevin would talk about this, like, yeah, you can probably sleep with these men, but these aren't the men that will actually marry you or the things of that nature, because they feel like they're slumming it, and it's just easy work for them. Hadassah, what are your thoughts? Who's more delusional, men or women?
I think women. Yeah, I'm sorry. But no, I do. I think that women are more delusional, to Celeste's point. Like everything's just like in front of them, and they think they can have everything in a relationship. And, the men, they are the trendsetters, and they, not to say that they, mature faster, because, that's like a different topic. But yeah, sorry.
Okay. All right. Now, Deb, she jumped out there and said that men have are delusional about their dating value. I'd love to get some clarification on that. But Spaces, what are your thoughts, bro?
This ties into the other aspect of the question you asked earlier about who has it harder on the dating market, right? Because if you ask the question, who is the more delusional about their dating standards, and we say women, but men experience women, men are seeking out women with these delusional standards. Do the men have it harder, or do the women who create these delusional standards make it harder for themselves? But my answer is women for sure.
Rolando.
Man, let me tell you why. Is this really a question? That's what I wondered when you first asked it. I was like, man, why is this tripping? He asking questions he already know the answer to. Listen, women are so freaking delusional, dude. It is unbelievable. Unbelievable, dude, to say the least. Okay, the expectations are through the roof. Crystal said it earlier. They run around here and they got the mark of the beast on them. They want the all sixes, okay? The six pack, the six figures, the 6 feet, you know. And don't get me wrong, I got all three, but I ain't trying to give it to you. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to do me. That's all. But I also I do believe there is some delusion on the men's side, because the men are delusional if you think you're gonna find a good woman in this day and age. So you got a good set of a little bit of delusion in you too. So we all out here with a little bit of delusion because every once in a while I wake up in the morning, I'll be like, yeah, today might be the day I meet a good one. And by the end of the day, I'm just like, oh Lord, what am I gonna do? So I get it, but what? Listen, I'm talking about my trials. I'm talking about my trials and tribulations here. Don't.
You're saying there's no good women out there, Rolando?
Well, I mean, there is, but who wants to go on that kind of a safari, a treasure hunt?
What?
You know what I mean?
Now you're seeing why I said men have it harder.
I ain't got time for all that. I got football games to watch. I got NBA games to watch. You know what I mean? Then I gotta work. And then I gotta have my me time. You know what I'm saying? Hot yoga and Bible readings in the dark. And what?
I think men are more delulu out here than women are. I'm sorry.
Explain that.
I think it partly has to do with the fact that there is more a shortage of men, like what Spaces happened to mention earlier on another topic. But because there are fewer men, the men that are out there feel like they are God's gift to creation.
There's a lot of that.
So women done let the cuckoo out the clock a long time ago, okay? And the other half of these women, the cheese has slid off the cracker. There are few.
What?
Are you?
So wait a second. No, D. Marie is hitting on something here. To a certain extent, everybody's delusional in this sense. Men think it's a lot easier for men to settle. It's a lot easier for men to reconcile with their life and say, okay, I'm going to be with this woman. That part is true. But that's also for the women that they're like. There are lots of good women out here that men don't want, because the woman that they want, they think is prettier or this or that or whatever. So they pass that over often. And then try, once that goes bad, then they go, you know what, I'm gonna get with a good woman and I'm gonna settle down. So basically everybody, to a certain extent, until you're willing to stop, and I do think men will stop this sooner, is everybody can't get exactly what they want.
Right.
All right. You may want that girl over there, but that girl is not checking for you.
Okay, so why is it that when you're under 25, Celeste,
I'll get this girl.
Why is it that when women are under 25, the only men who qualify got to have a tattoo and a motorcycle?
Women under 25 are not even thinking about getting married.
That's what I'm saying.
Most women under 25 have no concept in their mind about right now I should be thinking about getting married. Women out of 25, under 25, most, not all.
Thanks to feminism.
Most women under 25 are thinking about, what am I going to do with my life? How should I invest in me? They have no concept about a man in any long-term real way.
I understand that, but men who are 40 ain't trying to marry another 40-year-old.
Yeah, but we don't know about that and we don't care. That's y'all's issue. We don't know about that. A 25-year-old woman doesn't understand the thought pattern and the priorities of a 40-year-old man. A 25-year-old woman knows what 25-year-old women know, which is I'm 25, and the one thing I have to do, which I, by the way, disagree with this wholeheartedly. I think this is horrible training for women. And I've said over and over, I think it's actually a setup for failure. But the truth is, I will still tell the truth. The truth is, a 25-year-old woman is not saying to herself, I am in my most valuable time I'm ever going to be in. This is my best time to get married. This is the time when a man is most likely to be attracted to me. And this is the best time for me to have healthy babies. 25-year-old women, those thoughts are the farthest thing from your mind. None of that even occurs to you at 25.
And feminism brainwashing is why that is true.
I was about to say, yeah, unless you are on the conservative side of things, conservative
I don't
women
agree. I
will
was
tend to
married
think
and
like that,
divorced
but
by
not to.
25.
And those
not the
conservative
circle.
women that think like that, somebody started talking to them about that at 16 and
Yep.
17 and
Yep.
started saying you are coming into the time of your life where you have to choose a mate and you need to think about married and you need to think about raising children and what kind of lifestyle you'd like to raise those children in. Very few women at 16 and 17 and 18 years old had those conversations with anybody, and heaven knows they did not encounter any institution, church, school, or any organization that ever redirected their mind in that area.
I agree. And I just want to tell Rolando, I agree with the person in the chat. You better find a person that knows the signs of a stroke, a heart attack, diabetic, sugar shock, whatever. You better find those that understand one of the offbeat heart rhythms to cardiac heart, all of those. You better find one of them women talking about a 25-year-old who might freak out in the minute you start acting a little weird. You heard them say
you know one thing is that for all these hardcore religious people who believe so hard in God and Jesus Christ and really want to see heaven, okay, when the day comes, okay, and God calls you home, why is it y'all start crying, y'all start taking medications, you start crapping in your pants, you start crying, okay? Listen, at the end of the day, listen, at the end of the day, death is a part of life. Okay, you wasn't afraid to be born, you shouldn't be afraid to die. Okay, if you have true faith, then you believe that there's something waiting for you on the other side. Okay, so stop telling me that I need to take all these medications and have a nurse and all this propping me up in this life.
But also,
you know what I'm saying?
You better learn what.
So Uncle Sam can squeeze some more money out of me. You know what I'm saying? I can be a taxpayer for another couple years. No.
Sometimes the enemy tries to come in and steal, kill, and destroy. That's what the enemy is there for. And you better have a woman of God that knows how to pray that enemy right about your body and about your house.
I'm telling you.
So that is what you need to understand.
I had this conversation with Wise already.
Crystal.
You need a woman to know how to pray in the
how
spirit, war in the spirit for you.
Okay? I have the utmost faith in my creator that he has the best for me. And if he says that, hey, bro, you're going to die by a stroke or you're going to die by this, you're going to die by that, then I accept that. I don't need a nurse or any of that, you know. But if I do need one, I'll go to Thailand or Philippines and get me a fine little one. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm one of them. What? Listen, don't interrupt me while I'm talking about my fantasy, okay? I'm up here trying to tell you my fantasy. Why seem interested? Spaces seem interested. Every man in the chat seem interested. But as soon as I get to talking about my Filipina, you know, walk around in the nurse's outfit, all of a sudden every woman want to interrupt me and talk over me and ruin my dream.
You getting the most words in the whole.
Let me tell my brothers about the boom boom room. You ever seen Life? You ever seen Life Wise when they talk about the boom boom room and then here come the officer and just disrupt them while they talk about the boom boom room? That's Crystal right there. She the officer with the flashlight. Once y'all go to sleep, I don't want to hear another word about no damn boom boom room.
Oh Lord!
I'm hating on my dream.
With that being said, we are we're gonna pivot. I want to play this, and this is the last clip, and I want to get into this. I don't want to hold on to folks. We are already in 2 hours on this, but I want to play this clip for you guys because it's kind of right in line, with this conversation. I want to play this clip for you guys, and then we'll keep it going from here. Oh man, Rolando, bro. Goodness gracious, bro.
Killing me, man.
Hoes out there.
Oh Lord.
There's a lot of There's a lot of hoes out there. There's a lot of girlfriends out there. There's a lot of girls that you would date. There's not a lot of good wives out there. You know, we're talking about inflation in America today. Are you familiar with another term called hoflation?
What?
Familiar with this term, Vinny?
I just heard it right now.
The price you pay for an average wife, for a woman who used to be a wife, is much greater than it has ever been. The concept of men having to work 20 times harder than their grandfathers for women that are 20% worse than their grandmothers.
Okay.
Hopefully.
I don't know if you guys are familiar with the term hoflation, 304-flation. Is it real? That's question number one. And have modern dating dynamics shifted so much that men are now working harder for less in relationships, emotionally, financially, and socially? And if so, what has changed? And I want to start with the youngin. Spaces. Go with it wherever you want to go. But answer that question for me.
I think I'm thinking about a documentary that I watched. I don't know, maybe about a month ago now, and it was about basically welfare in the Black community. And it was a lady that she said she had 5 children with 4 different men, and she didn't want to marry the man that she's with. What? So, but then I also think about the trend that went around maybe 2 years ago now, or a year or so, where women put out a list of places that were not acceptable as first dates. And it was like 25 different places.
Yeah, it was a long list. I saw that.
Okay, you saw it. People saw it. I'm just like, do I think men are paying 20% worse? I think I think children are a reflection of their parents. I think there's nothing new under the sun. I think it's just more of the same that's really been going on. It's just we think it's worse. In some cases it is. Some cases it is. Some cases women are saying, like, you have to pay $250 on the first date. And some men are out there allowing them to think that way because they do it. But there are women that have babies with men that they met on the first night. So I think this is more of the same. I do think on both ends, men are not as useful with their hands as our grandfathers were, but in a lot of cases, women aren't as capable around the house like the grandmothers were. So I think I understand and I agree with what he's saying, but I also think it's more of the same.
I think men are working harder, but I also think that men are worse than they were 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 50 years ago. I just think that people were better 40 or 50 years ago. I think the men were better. I think the women were better. I mean, you can look at that in the pictures. People were, even when they didn't have money, they dressed a lot more smartly. They were modest. The women were a lot more modest, but even the men, you look at the pictures from 50, 60 years ago of men, young men. They wasn't out here, with the ski mask on and things of that nature. Even if all they could do was piece together, a sports jacket and some slacks that may or may not match. I just think that people in general, the society has just gone downhill. It's regressed tremendously, just like the music. I think it's regressed, men and women. But Hadassah, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think the wholesome values just aren't there anymore like they used to be. Like we aren't our grandparents. Like they're not. They definitely. There's not a lot of women out there cooking. They don't know how to cook. They use the microwave. This is how they cook food for their children. A lot of the men, they just rather sit on the couch and do gaming instead of going out there and working and providing for their family. Sorry. No offense, but no, yeah, absolutely.
Now, I do think that women are, some, again, I got to go back to my statement that I said earlier and that I said last week is that, if a young lady, if a woman is interested in you, that list that you discussed, Spaces, that list goes out the window if she's actually interested.
I agree.
There's some women out there, you don't even got to take them out on a date. If they're interested in you, they'll just come by the crib. They'll come Netflix and chill with you if they're actually interested. I think the men that they're not interested in, they get the list. But on the flip side of that, I think the men have to understand their value, set some standards, and say, hey, I don't know you like that. I'm not spending $300 or $400 on a dinner on a person that I don't know. Heck, I've been married for a long time at this point, and I could probably count on one hand how many $200 or $300 dinners my wife and I is going on. It's just not something that we do. Crystal, what are your thoughts?
I agree with you all. I think, listen, I was always a Cheesecake Factory girl. I have no problem with Cheesecake Factory, just like I didn't have a problem with going over to Subway and catching a nice sub. A good Publix sandwich, you can't beat a good Publix sandwich now. I'm just saying.
Hey. Well, nowadays Subway is kind of 5 stars now. As far as the prices go. Anyway, I mean that $5 foot long doesn't exist anymore.
No, it don't. I remember a guy looked at me. He was like, "What do you mean you don't mind going out for ice cream and going to sit at watch planes land and take off?" I said, "I think that's amazing. Like, that's all you want to do?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good on that." But the thing is, I think, as a conversation I was having with my best friend today, I said social media has ruined everything. Let's just be real. It's ruined everything. So women are out here trying to get, let me use their terminology, flued out. They're trying to get that done. They are out here expecting, they like to get flued out. This what they say out here. They like, and this is after they have known you for like maybe a week. Are you going to fly me out? Like, what are you going to do? And you're like, what? Is that a real thing? It's a real thing. They expect Louis Vuitton bags and Giuseppe shoes and Prada purses and Birkins and all these things, Hermes. They want all of that come the first month that y'all been together. And it's absolutely ridiculous because all they're doing is comparing to things that they see on social media. They seem to think that that's real life. That's not real life. It's not real life at all. And then, I know Leslie, whatever that lady is. What's that lady name? That big mouth lady? Leslie Jones.
The comedian.
Yes, yeah. Leslie Jones. She said, "What do you mean? What do I bring to the table? I am the table." I'm like, that's not even an answer, ma'am. There's a lack of femininity in you, and you don't even understand that.
A lot of people don't sat at your table.
Don't be hating on my who Leslie's table. Leslie's
table. I'm sorry, Leslie's. I'm sorry, not yours. Not you.
Because I'm gonna hunt you down, Spaces. But the thing is, I think a lot of people don't realize that a relationship is a partnership and that we're supposed to be working together and things of that nature. A lot of these women are looking for what they can get out of the situation in today's society because of what they see, like I said, on social media. Men, they have, and again, this is all for click. If they understand content creation, they wouldn't be looking for these things. When they show Valentine's Day, men giving them $100 roses, a dozen roses is all, or 2 dozen roses is all $100 bills, and women are out here actively looking for that and upset that their man is not giving them that. And
not
it's like,
doing it.
That's not reality. Again, it's a partnership. You see, people are so concerned about the wedding and don't understand the marriage, the partnership, the lifetime together. That's what it's about. So I wish people would get it. So I think what he was saying, yes, the hoeflation is a real thing because a lot of men, like certain people around here, want to make hoes housewives. I'm just saying, they want to make the hoes the housewives. And because they want to make the hoes the housewives, then they have all these heartaches. The 304s, the housewives. The thing is, just like women should stop looking for the 666, men should stop trying to make the 304s into housewives because they can find a genuinely good woman and the hoeflation won't be anything serious for them because they will find a good woman who would be okay with a simple walk in the park as a date versus a whole thing of take me to a 5-star restaurant. Men need to check what they're looking for, just like women need to check what they're looking for.
I would agree with that. Who's really, I see all this stuff online. I haven't been, in the dating world in a long time, but is that really a thing? Ladies, are people really taking these women to, these $200 and $300 and $400 dinners on a first date with people that they don't know? Is that really happening?
I can promise you, because I've lived now here in Atlanta for 11 years, and I had a lot of guy friends, just friends. They were like my big brothers. And the amount that they talked about or they showed of where they have taken women for dates in a week, they easily, and if they're dating multiple women, they've easily spent over 1,500 to 2,000 on dates. They really have. So I just want you to know it's not,
Wow.
that's not, and this is, I've been living here now for 11 years, and this was my first 5 years of being here, talking to these guy friends and seeing what they're doing. And I'm like, why are you spending this type of money on somebody you don't even know if you want to have an actual future? Like, you can't just take them for a walk. I don't understand why we spend all that money, but they really do that.
Listen, Wise, I just want to say, me personally, I love me some hoflation. Okay, I just wanted to, make that known. You know what I mean? That's the only type of inflation I like is hoflation. Okay, and to the part about the dates. Okay, I ain't taking nobody on no $400 date. We say it in the South, and it's very plain and simple. I don't know you like that.
Okay.
Okay. So on first date, normally what I bring is the leash because I'm about to walk you, all right, around this lake. Okay. And we finna have a conversation. Listen, we ain't about to do all this foolishness, Wise. Okay. I walk them like Pomeranians, you know what I'm saying? And that's all we finna do on this date. All right. Because you have things like foodie dates and things like that where basically it's just
I've never that not something that I'm doing. I never fell for the foodie date. Oh, just call me because you're hungry. I don't fall. I've never fallen for that.
I got
no.
I can admit somebody got me for the foodie date. You know what I mean, and that was cool. And like I told her, if you hungry, just call me. I'll take you for some tacos. You know what I'm saying? I ain't like that. We got a saying in a Spanish house that says where two can eat, three can eat. You know what I'm saying? So if you hungry, just call me up. You know what I'm saying? And I'll take you out to eat. I'll feed you. You know what I'm saying? Then I'll bring you home. I'll light some candles and we do the do. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm old school like that. You know what
First
I mean?
date, tacos, and the do, right? First date.
Tacos and fornicating.
Yeah, that's how I met.
Exactly.
Dang,
What?
dang,
Pure
Rolando.
fornication.
Hold up.
Pure
Rolando,
fornication.
hey, where is do we got any saved and sanctified sisters in here with some holy water and some oil or something to anoint this brother here? This is crazy.
Anoint and rebuke.
Why
I want to rebuke that spirit of lust off of him immediately.
No, you got
For some tacos? Really, Rolando? Tacos?
Hold up. Let me get this straight. The last woman that I took out, okay, for a walk and some tacos, ended up being Mrs. Velez. Okay, so don't let that fool you. That's why a lot of y'all ain't got no rings, because the man tried to take you out for some tacos and you had that same stank
Ain't
attitude.
nobody talking about the
that you
tacos.
had right now. You had it back
Wait a
then.
minute.
All
Look,
right, you denied the
you know
tacos,
what?
and you didn't know that the
Tacos
tacos
and
came with
fornication.
extra cheese and a ring. All right, and you turned down tacos, and you ain't getting no cheese, and you ain't getting no ring.
No, you got me all wrong, Rolando.
I got a question for you guys.
I was on your okay.
Have the men do you guys think that the men are the cause of the 304 inflation? Men cause this. When you think about social media, all the attention, that men have given, you just have men willing to lead with their money, willing to take women on, these expensive dates that Crystal mentioned.
Women little Tupperware get-togethers is what brought this on. Hey, girl, you can do whatever.
They spoil too much.
You can do that. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden they jump on out there and they find out that, they can't do what men do. Women are built different. They just can't do it. It's not my fault. Take it up with your creator. I say it all the time. Take it up with your creator.
I will say that I'm not going to say men play a part per se, because like I said, there are women who they flat out lie about what they got going on. They purchase the stuff for themselves and be like, look what my man got me
Yeah.
today. And they sitting down here throwing it out on social media, and other women are like, how her man get her that? And so it again, they will be lying on social media just to get the likes and the taps and things of that nature. And I always say this is why people need to pay attention and not just sit down here and think what they see on social media is a real thing, and they come into belief of that. But a lot of men do lead with their money. They like to, I've had men who walk up to me and say, you know, I'm a VP of this, I make this, and I'm like, I don't care. And because they're so used to throwing that, and women are ready to fornicate on the first date off of what he just said, he expects every woman to behave like that. And no, that I'm not for sale. I'm sorry, I can't help you. So you go find somebody else that's willing to do that. But I think men do play a part in that. That's why I think for women, when they become a mother of a son, they start to look at things very differently. I don't know if you ever saw that video, Wise, of the woman who got on there and said, if you gonna be dating my son and you think my son is gonna be taking you to Ruth Chris or any of these places, you got another thing coming. If you can't pay for the steak for yourself, don't be asking my son to pay for the steak for you. And I was like, you know what? Let me go do a video like that on my son, because what y'all not gonna do, you get real protective of when it comes to your boys. So I think, like I said, I think it was a combination of women lying and men leading with their money.
Just answer one question. Just ladies, answer one question. Why is it before kids, okay, tacos is okay, but once you split out a couple kids, all of a sudden you porterhouse. You know, you king crab legs.
Celeste, get in there. I know you've been trying to go for a bit. Get in there.
I don't know anything about meal selection pre and post childhood, but I want to throw the conversation in a little bit of different direction. So there are some people who are looking for the come up, and they're looking to date as a way to come up. My advice is for men to stay away from women like that, although men often enjoy women who feel that way about them. That's an absolute ego feed. So there are lots of men who enjoy a woman who, let's say, doesn't share their same economic status, that she is elevated by him. There are men who enjoy that. And you men know that there are men who enjoy that. My question is this. I think it depends on where you are. If you meet me at Ruth Chris, if after work I'm there, and I'm waiting for my table and you're waiting for yours, and you meet me there, it is reasonable for you to take me there or someplace comparable, because that's where I am, that's where I eat.
I'm gonna disagree with that one.
Disagree.
I'm gonna put it, hey, free dates. And I've told my boys the same thing, and I tell, a lot of folks this, when you first meet someone, you need to figure out some free places that you can take her outside of what it's going to cost gas wise, but free places, or very affordable, coffee, maybe it's a little bit of ice cream or something, although ice cream can get kind of expensive these days, but free museums, free walks in the park around here in our area, Baltimore and DC. There's tons of places, tons of things that you can do for free. We just go walk in the city for free.
Let me make that makes sense for your sons, because I'm assuming your sons are very young men who are either at the very beginning or haven't quite yet started their career. My thought about that is this. I'm one of those people who believes, and I'm not saying I'm demanding a Ruth Chris date. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that what I believe you all are describing is somebody who you met at McDonald's but wants to go to Ruth Chris. That's a very different situation than someone you meet at Ruth Chris. That's all I'm saying. I'm simply saying I don't think that's not someone who's looking for a come up.
I mean, I think even if we meet at Ruth Chris, if some kind of way, Celeste, we link up and we meet at a Ruth Chris, that ain't the first date. Hey, we going Starbucks. We got under $20. A coffee.
I
let's
can.
let's
Why
I'm
the
not
problem
disagreeing with
is
that. If
that
you
you
say,
have
"Hey, want to get
girls.
together for coffee?" That makes sense. But what I'm saying is, you're equating the whole. I met you at McDonald's, and now you want me to spend $300 or $200 at Ruth Chris. All I'm saying is that's a completely different situation than someone you met at Ruth Chris.
No,
I don't think that's the same thing. Let's say if you go to Ruth Chris every night after work or 3 nights a week after work, if you and your boys meet 3 nights a week after work, and there's a woman there who, goes there fairly often, and you all meet, that's not uncommon or even unreasonable that would be, or something similar would be a dating experience. I'm not saying it has to be. I'm simply saying the idea of I could never take no woman to Ruth Chris is actually all right. So I know lots of people that's not how they're dating at all.
No, the
I
problem
yeah, and I
is
think that a lot of people, I don't think they're doing it right in this day and age. I think we have entirely too many simps out there, and I'm a firm believer that
This is not
you
a
can.
simp.
It's like negotiating. It's like when you're in negotiating, we can always work our way up. You can never work your way down. So if you wherever you start at, you can't say,
You're gonna
"Hey, we're
expect
going to
it.
start at Ruth Chris, and then the next date we're going to Applebee's." Like you can't do that. You know what I'm saying?
But
You
I
gotta
think
you gotta work your way up. You know.
why
No,
I think
we can't do that.
I just want to say I think the problem is we keep the first date shouldn't be a date. It should be an
Yeah,
outing, a get to
an
know
outing to get to know each other.
yeah,
Exactly.
because
Yeah.
there's these
Free.
weird expectations when it comes to date, and you don't even know if you really like this person. I'm about to
Right.
drop $500 to somebody I don't even know if I like.
Mm-mm.
That's a whole problem.
I'm not
That's a
saying
problem.
It really is.
I'm not saying that you have to drop $500 or you can't meet someone for coffee. I like that idea. Or you can't, a coffee date for a first date to me is a great one.
I
It's
think so
very
too.
low.
Yeah. Hey,
It's very low
especially if you're in
investment
the city.
on
Come
both
on now,
ends.
Celeste.
But what I'm saying is, I don't think, I don't think that, all right, that if you get someone that is where they regularly are. It is not
listen.
unreasonable.
Listen,
See, the
men
issue is that though.
deal on a scale of what you look like. The biggest imbalance is that 5, 6, and 7s want the treatments of 8, 9s, and 10s. Okay, you don't qualify.
Mm.
You don't qualify.
Wait
These
a
women
second.
don't qualify for that treatment.
See,
Okay,
that's your
Disagree.
problem.
look,
That's why
look. If I'm
that's why
talking,
inflation
look,
is a real thing.
look,
Hold
look.
on.
If you are 8, 9, and 10, okay, that means you're normally going to be matched
And
up with a
that's your
guy that's
problem.
an 8, 9, and
That's your
10.
So
problem
you
right
That
got
there.
an
guy's
8
going to
at
be
me.
a
This is
little
your
more
problem.
successful.
The problem with that equation.
His first date will be different than my first date, Celeste. For
Okay,
example,
wait a
I may
second.
pull up in my work truck. He pulls up in his Mercedes. Okay, we ain't living the same life, so I don't expect our first date to be the same first date. I'm not comparing that. But what women are doing is they're comparing, okay, what they see at 8, 9, and 10 get, and they're mad that they're not getting that.
Why
But
would
they
an 8,
don't
9, and 10 be
qualify
the
for
devil?
that.
Let me explain this.
That's
So
the problem.
what you're saying is, and this is where the problem comes. The problem comes is you met an 8 at McDonald's. And you took the 8 because she deserves the 8 treatment to Ruth Chris.
That's where they
No,
met.
Probably should have took the 5 to Ruth Chris.
That
And
part.
number
Thank
one,
you.
and then you
look,
won't feel
This is wrong.
look,
That
look,
part.
number
Thank you,
one,
Celeste.
You
number
feel
This is
one,
wrong.
I'm
Oh,
gonna
wait.
tell you now.
Oh, wait.
I'm gonna tell you now. I consider myself an 8. All right, and as an
Don't do
8,
that.
I can hold on. Let the 8 speak. Okay, I
Don't
didn't
do that.
interrupt
Don't
you
do that.
when
Don't do
you
that.
spoke.
Don't do
All
that.
right,
Oh my
don't
God.
interrupt the 8
Don't
while
do
I'm
that.
speaking. I'm
That's
an
right.
8,
Yolanda
Celeste. All right,
self-identifies
and
as an
you
8.
wouldn't catch me
He
dead at the
self-identifies.
McDonald's.
Okay. You
All right, so I
self-identify.
ain't
I
need no other
apologize
8s at
for disturbing
McDonald's.
your
All right.
self-identification of an 8.
Let me say this,
No,
Yolanda.
no. You know who
I'm
I
going with
meet?
you on
You
an
know
8.
who I meet in McDonald's? I meet a bunch of hoflations in
Exactly.
McDonald's. You know what
My
I'm saying?
point
And you
Now,
take
that
those
is,
now,
you take those
but
Hoflation 8s
but
to Ruth
I'm an
Chris,
8.
and then they
exactly
But
treat
I'm
what
an
you
8.
say they deserve.
I'm
Mhm.
an 8. So you wouldn't catch me at a McDonald's. Is all I'm saying. All right. So you might catch me at a Chipotle. You know what I'm saying, or something like that. But you won't catch me at a McDonald's. All right.
Hey,
But
shout
back,
out to Quincy James. He said he supports the taco and chill strategy. Thank you for the
see, that's
$2
my
super chat,
point.
bro.
They know how we do it down in Texas. You know, Texas very similar to Florida. You know, we do things the same way. If you're 8, 9, 10, okay, your
I,
first date is gonna be different than somebody. Look, I'm gonna
the
tell you right now.
bitterness
Yeah.
I'm
is
gonna tell
that
you. Hold
you
up,
Hey,
hold up.
Hey, shout out to
Let me
Byron
in.
Floyd
Let me in.
coming through. He said, "Don't be looking like a booger wolf and requesting Ruth Chris."
okay.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. You know,
All
Not
I
a
I'm
was
booger
saying
talking
wolf.
to a
is
girl and she be
you
sitting
all are
right there talking
bitter
about,
because
yeah,
you
you know
took
I'm
the
Ruth
8
Chris
that
material.
you
That
met at
part.
Yeah,
McDonald's
yeah,
Thank
and
you
you.
you
know you
spent
You,
gotta
money
take
Celeste.
on her, and that was probably
just
ill
pat the
spent.
head
Celeste,
with
you
the
spot
old
on because
itchy
what
head.
happens is this is what
No,
happens. The reason why
we ain't
hoeflation
doing
is a
that.
thing is because they have that ridiculous rating system of what a 5, 6, and 7. They take the supposed 8, 9s, and 10s, and when they running your credit card up and spending all your money, you upset. But you took
Let
the
me
8, 9s, and 10s because you say they deserve it.
That's right.
And
So
they're the
let me
ones,
ask you a
Enjoy
they're the
question,
ones that
Crystal.
jump, they're the
them.
ones that jump on social media to show, look what my man did. He flew me out. This what my man did. And so then the 5, 6, and 7s is like, but hold on. Why I can't get that. And so
Y'all
now
are
you
so
upset with the
wrong.
whole when
No,
men
no.
created
Well,
the
let me
whole
ask you a
place.
Y'all are
question.
so
If you're
wrong.
looking at a woman and a woman's telling you, talking about, yeah, you know I'm Ruth Chris, patting her head, talking about, yeah, you know I'm Ruth Chris. You got to take me to Ruth Chris. I'm like, nah, I'm about to take you down the street, get your head washed.
First of all, you don't have to
You
take
know,
anybody to
Hold
Ruth
on, let me
Chris.
in here. Let me in here.
Any
Hold
woman
on.
that wants to eat
go
at
ahead
Ruth
and get in
Chris will
there.
already be
Come
there.
on.
Exactly.
Spaces, get in there, bro.
Listen, 5, 6, and 7s, pat their head at Ruth Chris. 7, 8s, 9s, 10s, pat their head at Ruth Chris. If she's expensive, or if she's cheap, she's still a 3 or 4. So whatever price range she qualifies for, it don't matter. And then
No,
if
that's not
a
true. What if
woman is
you
a
there
5, 6,
minding
or
your
7
business,
is
meeting
with a
your
man,
friends after
and the
work?
man decides that he wants to take her to Ruth Chris, and she may be an 8, 9, and 10 to a man that is a 5, 6, or 7 when she's really a 5, 6, or 7. It's a reflection of however you feel about that woman. So I don't want to
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
Maybe
so
that's
like,
why
and
they
then
want
on
to
top
go
of that,
there.
and then on top
Wise,
of
I
that,
blame
They
you for
want you
all
to
of
think well
this.
of
just
them.
because
You and your
when
controversy.
it comes to meeting someone at Ruth Chris, if you as a woman are used to going to Ruth Chris, that doesn't speak for what I'm supposed to provide to you.
No,
I
it
provide
doesn't.
to you what I provide to you.
And I
If
can
you
say
can,
no.
if you want, and you're absolutely right. You can take,
That's exactly correct.
whatever the standard is you have for yourself is different when you're dealing with somebody.
No,
So what are we talking about?
no,
Like,
no. So let
okay,
me
if
make
your
Oh,
standard,
oh,
okay, by that logic, then
oh,
if you're used to McDonald's, then I never need to take you to Ruth Chris.
listen. I agree with
No,
you that
this is crazy.
I agree that you should take a woman, like you said, where you want to take her is a reflection of what you think her value is. And I think women should know that when a man says to them, I'd like to take you to something such and such a place, that's a reflection of what he thinks your value is.
oh.
And I think the problem for men is that many men think that a woman who is a 8, 9, 10, or whatever has a greater value. And oftentimes what happens is they actually make that high value investment and find out that it's not really a high value woman. And
That
then
part.
they're angry about that.
That part.
Because you said that I should have took her to McDonald's, or I should have.
Yeah, but that's why you don't do that.
It's
That's
a
why,
very
you know,
difficult
hey,
game.
guys got to get back in the day. Now I grew up in the Atlanta area, and you know, back in the day, everybody, you know, thought they were pimps and all this other kind of stuff, but they had a mindset about them. The men, they were not about, you know, out here saving women. They were not about out here just spending money and caping and simping. Men wasn't about that back in the day. That wasn't a thing. I don't know where this, you know, taking women on first dates to, you know, these super expensive restaurants. I don't know where that came from. That wasn't a thing back when I was on the dating market. And to be honest with you, if I ever found myself in that situation, that's not something that I would do. I refuse.
Even if it's an 8, 9, or 10 woman?
Even if it's an 8, 9, or 10.
Okay.
No. You getting the
Thank you.
coffee, you getting the free
Thank you,
whatever, you're getting
If
the
you're
free walk.
consistent,
I look at
then
it like
I
this.
get it.
If you are actually interested in me,
Exactly.
you'll do whatever it is that I want to get into outside of me trying to have you come over the house. You know, I wouldn't be disrespectful, but you know, hey, let's go do coffee. And if we're in the city after we can get some coffee, if it's nice out, we can go out and we can walk the city. We can chop it up and talk. hey, let's get to know each other. You know, I think so
Yeah.
many people, you know, they get into these situations or trying to get into relationships and they forget that, hey, this individual needs to be a friend, especially when you start thinking about,
Precisely.
hey, we're going to go in that direction of marriage. You would hope that you're marrying somebody that you can sit down and just chop it up with and have some fun
Right.
with, have a good conversation. And you guys can see that, hey, we actually got a lot in common, even if it's just sitting around laughing at folks as they walk by and we
That
judge
part.
everybody as they walk by while we sip on
That
our
part.
coffee.
Yep.
Thank
Yep.
you.
Then on top of that, and you speaking to exactly what I was saying, Mr. Wise. It's like, okay, why if we know that the transaction between a man and a woman is money for provision for pleasure, let's say it that way, provision for pleasure, and you know that a man, if he throws his money at you because he wants to get you for that night, then you should probably say, I don't want this expensive date. Let's go somewhere where we can talk.
Yep.
Am I tweaking?
Well, first of
I
all,
agree with you.
just
I
because
agree with you, but
it's
you
research doesn't mean you get any.
that's what I was about to say. You
That
spend
has nothing to do with
you ain't getting getting jack
Yeah,
squat.
that's an equation you have in
What?
your mind. That's not my equation.
You better
I'm
go
not-
purchase an expensive escort for that matter, because that is not my name.
I don't
But
think
that's what the
I don't think
scenario
the
was earlier, though.
No, I don't think the average woman thinks that. The average woman
Listen.
doesn't think that this is a trade for pleasure. The average
Listen.
woman thinks, "Oh, you want to get to know me."
That's
Listen,
exactly
a
what it is in
man.
life.
Look, let me explain
I'm
something
not
to
saying
y'all.
it's untrue.
man-
I'm saying the average woman, if you come and ask me out, I don't think you're asking me out because you're hoping that later on in the evening, or that you have a reasonable expectation. Anybody can hope. A reasonable expectation that later on in the evening, that means there's going to be a pleasurable transaction.
Okay, so
Yeah,
I'm
happy
gonna
ending.
ask a
A
quick
happy-
question. Just real quick, Rolando, keep your thought, please. I'm gonna ask a super quick question. When a man first approaches a woman, do you think he's approaching her because he wants to go skydiving with her?
Women believe that, yes. Now, I'm not saying it's
But
true.
then we also say we know what women say all the time. We know what men want.
No, okay.
Men
So
want that one thing.
let me make this point.
Lauren Hill made a song
Women
about
do
it.
not have the same understanding of male sexuality. We don't. We simply don't. We don't understand how driven by sex you are because we're not driven in the same way. So when you say, hey, why don't we hang out sometimes? I'd like to get to know you. We actually believe you want to do that.
But then you also women. I'm not saying you specifically. Women also. Lauren Hill made the song. Guys only want that thing.
All right, listen.
Uh-oh.
Listen
Don't
up,
start.
wait. Again, women do not have, and I'm only telling you the truth about most women. I'm not saying every, but most women do not have an understanding of how driven by sex men are. We do not really believe that. And I made this statement a few shows past. I said women believe they can be friends with men. If you ask your brother, you ask your cousin, you ask your uncle, can men and women be friends? Most men laugh when you say no. No. If you ask most women, can men and women be friends? Women will give you 1,000 qualifiers. Absolutely. If they work together, if they this, if da 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 da, 1,000 qualifiers on how men and women can be friends, because we don't have that same sexual drive. We don't have any understanding of it.
Can I say something right quick? Let me get up in
Quickly,
here.
shout out to Alexander Bryant with the $2 super chat. Says unbelievable.
I'm sorry that's
Let me say
true.
something.
And I'm not
Let me say
saying that-
something right quick. I don't go cruising around churches and
Oh my goodness.
religious places
I don't
and
know
looking
why he
for
likes to
religious
keep pushing these
women.
churches.
Okay, when I want to get laid. Okay, when I see a woman wearing a cross around her thing or carrying a Bible or something like that, and I'm just looking to get laid, I'm just being honest. Okay. Women always say they want honesty. As soon as I give it, they go into this. I'm disgusted. I can't believe he said that, but I'm giving you the real. Okay. I'm like a vampire. I see that Bible. I'm like, I'm gonna go this way.
We
You know what I'm saying?
We know.
Because that's not what I'm looking for. So when
But
Crystal
you-
Note to
talking
self:
about-
carry a
Hold
Bible.
up, hold
No,
up.
that's
When
why he
Crystal
has
was talking
Hadassah.
about
That's why
all
he
this
hasn't been to
about-
Bible study up to
I
now.
don't
He has
know.
not come to one of my Bible
listen,
studies.
Listen, I don't know where y'all meeting these men who preying on religious women, because where I come from, okay, we stay far away from them, okay? And this is my only question for the night, because Crystal keep talking about all these freaking conservative men and all these man friends she got in Atlanta, Georgia. Please drop in the chat where you meeting these dudes. Okay, because there's a lot of single women down in
Most
there,
of the men
and you
friends
keep
I
saying
have-
that you know guys is taking women on $1,500 dates. Is
I
that not what she said, Wise?
Well,
And
what-
$1,500 dates,
that-
$2,000 dates.
I like my I
Okay,
like my male
get
friends.
it. I get
No,
it.
I
And
like
if
my
they-
male friends, so I'm
No.
not going to be putting them in a position that would I try to stop them from that.
What? So you don't
position.
like
So
your
I don't-
TikTok fans? You don't.
I like
how about
my
all these
friends.
good biblical women in the chat? You don't
Exactly.
want to
That's why I
hook
don't.
them up.
That's
you don't
why I
want to
don't
see
put
them.
them in those positions. No,
That
because
seems
I know
kind of selfish.
I know what some of
That
these men are
seems
like.
kind of ungodly.
A lot of these men think like you. Hence why.
Come on now.
Hence why
Hmm.
I protect the woman from the wolves.
Don't
Put it
be
put
like
that way.
that.
I'm
Wolves.
simply saying
Look, if I had a
we
bunch of
come
good
to this
women,
from
if I had
very
a bunch of good
different
God-fearing
points
women,
of view.
I'd
Men
share
and
'em.
women are not the same. And
They're not.
everybody agrees that men and women are not the same, but very few people can articulate what the differences are. And I'm
and this
telling
why-
you, women do not really believe or really understand the male, what drives men. We
Oh,
don't understand it, which is
so-
why when men say, well, women not doing what we want, we really don't understand what it is that you do want. And I can promise you, because of the feminism, the culture, and all that, we certainly were never trained as young women when we were young, as young women to have this information. We did not have it.
And so,
And we
can you
still don't have it.
can you agree that even especially at this age, Dion, you're
So-
right here with me. At this age, you really think when men are coming up to you at this age, they're coming with intentions, not coming for the smash. At this point, when they're saying, "I would like to get to know you," you actually think, "Oh, they're actually interested." You're not
I
thinking
Well, I
about
have a
think that now, but I thought that at
Especially at
25. You could have
I
run
have
that
a
young
question.
at
I have a
25.
question because by that rationale,
Which was
what y'all
yesterday.
saying, by your own rationale, what y'all saying is that y'all gullible.
Absolutely.
absolutely. If you want to say it like that,
Absolutely.
because
Which
I
is
like
why
to
I
Okay, as
don't
long, as
believe.
long as you
Check it
can
out.
own it,
Hold on.
that's fine.
Which is why I have said from the beginning, I don't think that men should have unsupervised access to women exactly for that reason.
and that's why
Hmm.
if you hear all the women
for
all the
growing-
women in the chat that are Bible believing who come to my Bible study, yeah, you'll say we're gullible. That's why we have the Holy Spirit for discernment, because we want no parts of men. I love you, Rolando, but men like you, that's a no. That's a no. That's a
Hey,
no. Because
hey,
what you trying
hey,
for,
to-
we don't
to
want. We
Crystal's
want a
fans-
man of
To
God.
Crystal's
That's what we want.
fans, I know y'all listening to me right now. Just know
They don't
that
want
she
you.
is hogging all the men in
don't
Atlanta,
want you.
Georgia, okay? And she keeping them to herself.
They don't want they don't want the man
Alright?
in Atlanta,
So
Georgia
y'all make
either.
sure
Mm-mm.
that y'all
don't want that
mention
either.
that in her TikTok feed, all right, while
Yeah, they don't
y'all
want that
bashing
either.
me. Cause I know there's a lot of Rolando bashing going on in Crystal's TikTok feed. So while y'all take time bashing me, drop a
That's
few
because of
bashes
your
for
mouth.
Crystal, okay?
That's
For
'cause of your mouth.
basically keeping all the men to herself and not wanting to share not
Aw.
one, knowing
tell
y'all
you?
out here struggling.
Rolando,
Y'all
can I tell you what everybody's
struggling.
writing in my comments? They're saying exactly, we definitely don't want no man from ATL. Be good. That's what they're saying in the comments. So there you go.
Oh, so they agree with what I said the other week then.
Don't want the
Right.
men from ATL. Listen,
You
Wise
gotta
is a
watch the
Wise
back
is a
shows.
rare commodity coming out of ATL. Okay, he has sense. He has God. He has a head on his shoulders. He is not taking nobody to Ruth Chris just to be flashing money. There are men here.
Okay,
In
well,
all they
Crystal,
do
you
is
say
flash
you like a man who work with his hands. And I'm gonna tell you right now, a man who work with his hands ain't taking you to no Ruth Chris. Y'all gonna be doing a lot of Taco Bell together.
Actually,
You know what I'm saying?
Rolando,
I hope
that's
you
not
like
that
the
way.
chalupa.
Hey, I think that's okay. I think that's okay. Again, I think it goes back to, and there was a old old guy back in the day says a lot of the issue with men is men aren't dating the women who actually like them. They're chasing those that don't really care for them that way, and they're leading with the purse strings. You know what I'm saying?
Wise, please
Find the ones that love you. Find the ones that like you. That's willing to go with you wherever it is that you want to go.
But why?
I'm one of those kind of people. I'm not doing it.
Wise,
what you said is not true because men that are blue collar
Crystal
actually
going
make
through
good
the
money.
drive-through?
Crystal, can I see Crystal going through the drive-through?
Yes,
absolutely. I could.
Thank
yeah,
you.
absolutely.
Thank
If
you.
Crystal
Yes,
was
I will.
actually into whoever it is that she was dealing with, I could definitely see Crystal saying, if the dude was like, "Hey man, we're gonna hit this Burger King, get some Whoppers," I could see Crystal saying, "Yeah, we're gonna get some Whoppers."
Wise,
That
and
girl-
I have. And
that
I haven't.
girl-
Let me take it one step
the
further.
one last
I've
week
actually,
with the shoulder out and the cocoa
excuse me,
butter
I've
and all
actually
that.
paid.
If that's the
I've
one you
actually
gonna swing
treated
through the
men on
drive-through,
dates
good
too.
luck.
Just so you know,
Good luck.
Wise, because a lot of women won't say this, but I actually treated men on dates too. So I don't know what Rolando's talking about because I will do the drive-through. I have done the drive-through. I've actually taken a man out to a very nice restaurant and paid for the food. I do not mind because again, it is about me getting to know the person. It's not about the money. The thing is, when you are thinking transactional, that is the corruption of today because everybody's thinking so transactional. They're not actually trying to get to know anyone. And that is why the system is so broken. They're not trying to get to know who. So every as they say, the 304 inflation is up because women are trying to sell their bodies to get some kind of security. Men are trying to use their money to get bodies. When at the end of the day, we're supposed to be trying to get to know each other, build a partnership so we can build a legacy together. That is supposed to be the goal of life.
Okay,
I would agree with that. I want to go back real quick. I want to tie this conversation right back to how we open this thing up, with hip hop music and things of that nature. I want to tie it right back to that. How much has the music affected the way men and women see each other, how men and women are dating in this day and age? How much has the music played a role in the disconnect that we see right now in dating? We'll go around. I want to get up out of here, but we'll start with Hadassah, and then we'll work our way, around.
So I don't think it's pure and true anymore. It's a lot of, negative and false, hopes in the music that is portrayed today opposed to what used to be. Or not what used to be, what still is, but yeah, in the past.
Dion, what are your thoughts? What role has the music played in the disconnect that we're seeing, in the modern dating scene?
Almost forgot. I don't know. I think the music being part of the culture definitely has an effect on the way men and women relate. And because, of, the different negative aspects, I guess, of music, and the expectations that the music places in people's minds, I would say that it has it has had a harmful effect, in my opinion.
Celeste, what are your thoughts?
I feel like the music glorifies everyone trying to flex and trying to floss. And I think the problem with that is that it actually tells a truth about people that they don't realize they're telling, which is that people, and I talk about this in my book, people who cannot be proud of what they produce are proud of what they consume. So when people are highlighting what they consume, those are people who've produced nothing.
Rolando.
Well, when it comes to the music, music is a reflection of life. A lot of people sing about what they see and what they know. So as you see the music deteriorates, you have to look at at your surroundings as you watch that deteriorate as well. So if you look at just the evolution of music, it went from being really happy, just singing about love and different things like that. And as the generations and decades passed on, the music just got realer and rougher and that kind of thing. So you have to really look at society and you know, what's driving the music. But also people need to realize and keep in mind that music is entertainment, just like you would see a movie or any other type of entertainment. Okay. Just because I saw somebody jump off a roof onto a moving truck doesn't mean I'm gonna go outside and jump off my roof onto a moving truck. Okay, it's the same thing for music. You know, it's supposed to inspire you in some cases, you know, really elevate or, you know, shift your mood. So just remember, music is entertainment and don't take it too serious and don't try to live it.
Dig it. Shout out to Alexander Bryant coming through with the $2 super chat. Says the music promotes hookup culture. Spaces. What are your thoughts, man?
I think music is a form of art, and art imitates life. I think, but it's also very influential. Otherwise, if there wouldn't be studies that prove, like multiple different studies that prove the reason why people structure their hooks and their lyrics a certain way, so that it's catchy, so that it constantly repeats in people's heads, which is going to at the end of it all influence their behavior. For instance, like I always use this as an example. In the movie Friday, towards the end, when they did the drive-by, typically when it's, especially with Black people, of course, but when the drive-by happened, they started playing like rap music. When you're watching Fast and Furious and like the super scenes are all these explosions and all this racing is happening, they're playing like high tempo like rock and roll type of music or pop music. So it imitates different situations and it influences behavior. But like the super chat said, it definitely promotes the thought culture, which is the worst aspect of it.
I would agree with that. And Crystal, I'm gonna give you the last word, but I want to say this. I think that the music has definitely played a role in a multitude of issues that we have in society. I think the music programs, they call it music programming on the radio for a reason. It's television programming for a reason. It's programming people. And if you listen to music that tells you to, you know, shoot, steal, kill, sell drugs, do drugs, destroy your community, and that's all you feed yourself on a day-to-day basis, it's almost like you're hypnotizing and programming yourself to do these types of actions. If you're listening to women or music that, you know, is promoting pimping and you know, just being derogatory towards women and all this other kind of stuff, you know, you're programming. When you see the women out there, the Cardi B's, the Sexy Reds, the what's the other one, Meg Thee Stallions, and all these other ones walking around with nothing and talking about, you know, their WAP and all this other kind of stuff. You know, and the young women are listening to this and they're talking about, and the city girls are talking about being flued out, which I didn't even know flued out was a word. I had to look that up, exactly what that meant. But when you hear this and you hear these young women, they're being programmed to think that this is normal. So a lot of the actions or the behaviors, more or less, I think a lot of the people are being programmed to do these types of things through the music. No different than those of us that grew up in the 90s and, you know, we were listening to, you know, maybe some Pac, maybe some Big, maybe some of this other music out there, you know, Snoop Dogg and them, you know, talking about we don't love these 304s and, you know, gin and juice and all this other kind of stuff. It made you want to go and try those things. The same reason why, even to this day, one of the dopest commercial songs out there was that St. Ives commercial. And I hadn't even thought about drinking St. Ives until I heard that commercial and it was so fire. And I was like, yo, I got to go get some St. Ives, you know, just based off of hearing the song. I think the music plays a major role, you know, in this, and then obviously social media and you know, it's played a role as well. But I think a lot of it is that, you know, our young people and people in general, because I can't even say young people, I've seen older women rapping Sexy Red and things of that nature. I've seen older ladies out here, you know, twerking and thotting it up like that. So I can't even say it's young people. I just think it's people in general.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that video not too long ago of that ballerina teacher that came out and was saying how her kids were in the classrooms and she was trying to play some ballerina music for them and they wanted to listen to City Girls Pound Town. You know,
I've never even heard that song before. Pound Town, that's a thing.
This is what moms are playing in the car heading to drop their daughters off at ballerina class or school or things like that. So they're being exposed to this stuff really early. And, it's the responsibility of the parents to not expose these kids to that. Your kids
Yeah.
like what you like. So for example, my godmother, she loved old Motown, anything Motown. Okay, she loved the hits, the soul hits, and that's what she played when I was over there all the time. And now to this day, I still listen to that. So
Yeah.
kids are very influential to what you play. So to the parents out there, please be careful what you play in your car when your kids are there, because they are listening.
Absolutely. And Crystal, I'll give you the last word and we're going to get up out of here.
So what I would say is, I always tell people, music is spiritual. It's been widely said that Lucifer was in charge of the worship music. So he's very aware of how the influence music has over people. Hence why I could name different songs and everybody could know where they were, what they were doing at that moment when they first heard that song. There's a connection spiritually with these songs. And because, like you said, Wise, they're programmed through these songs. They're hearing these songs over and over and over. It's hypnotic. It's taking you to a place where you're doing things you wouldn't do. They, like you said, to watch Essence Festival and see what women who are supposed to be aunties and grandmas bent over twerking because different artists are up there on the stage. So you too old to be out there bent over like that and don't care that people are seeing up your skirt and your dress, but they didn't care because they were under the hypnosis of the music. When you think about the relationships that we are dealing with today and the fracture between men and women, a lot of it does come from the music. I always say a lot of these women, the Beyoncés, the Rihannas, the Cardi B's, all of them, they sang songs or rapped about things, and they're living completely opposite in their home. So they're out here telling you one thing, and then they're doing something completely different. So while women are screaming independent ladies, Beyonce's off getting married. And people aren't realizing that. So she's going home and taking care of her man while you're out here yelling independence all day long. And I think a lot of people need to take a step back. And again, the word says, what you speak, so shall it be, right? Life and death is in the power of the tongue. So understand a lot of the things, when I say it's spiritual, we even take it to a level of, we have had artists, and I know you've seen it, Wise, and some of you, Celeste, Dion, I'm sure a lot of y'all have seen it, where people have said they have actually prayed demonic prayers or witchcraft over the songs that they're releasing into the world. There's a reason why they're doing that, because they want people to fall under whatever they're saying in these songs. And people don't realize, when you speak these words, when you sing these songs, you come into agreement. There's so many things that I have sang in, and I had to come back and repent for the things that I said, because I came into a spiritual agreement that was not, that I should have never done.
Garbage in, garbage out.
You said
singing
that. Can I ask you a question? You said that they were twerking at the Essence Festival?
Oh my goodness! Yes,
I'm asking. It's a legitimate question.
Yes, they were twerking at the Essence Festival. Yes.
Okay, check it out. I gotta get me some tickets.
Anyway, so all I'm saying, when I think back to singing that song, "You're My Little Secret" by Escape, and understanding today that was a song about promoting cheating and things like that.
Sneaky Link.
And you're singing this song all loud and proud. The thing is, we're coming into agreement. I just want people to understand that. So a lot of people, we have a lot of repenting to do for some of the things that we decided we were going to sing and come into agreement with. And maybe that's a lot of why some of our lives look the way that it does, because we came into agreement with things that we shouldn't have. So,
I agree with that 1,000%.
That is my thing for everybody.
No, I'm with you on that one 1,000%. How many of you guys have gone back and listened to some of the music that you thought was your jam, And then but
Yes.
you actually go back and you listen to the lyrics of what they were saying. He's like, I cannot. One, I can't believe I was listening to this.
Yep.
Two, I can't believe my parents allowed me to listen to this. There are certain songs or music that I got that my parents bought. Y'all not even gonna believe this. Back when I was about the 6th grade. Do y'all remember Uncle Luke?
Yes.
Some of y'all might be too young for Uncle Luke.
Yes.
Yeah.
But,
I was Uncle Luke in it.
Uncle Luke came out with an
Oh,
album. Y'all remember the, get it. I'm not gonna go, down in there. Yeah, yeah. My
Luke was
aunt and them, they
worse.
bought that CD for me. And that's the CD, with the ladies, in the bikini, on the front, yeah,
Guys, have you
yeah.
ever seen-
And they bought that for me. And
Have you ever seen Uncle Luke's Peep Show?
Oh my goodness.
I'm asking.
I
These are
haven't.
legitimate
I don't know what
questions.
that.
I haven't.
I don't know what that
Okay,
is.
Uncle
I mean,
Luke used to do
Doo-Doo Brown. Look at that. Look at Brian,
Oh.
Byron Floyd.
He know, because I
He know.
remember that. Yep.
Yeah,
Hey,
Byron, you know about Uncle Luke's Peep Show.
some of that music from back in the day, even the music, like right now, the music is ratchet, right? But if you go back and listen to some of the 90s R&B, some of the 80s, some of the 70s R&B for that matter, but just listen to the lyrics. They wasn't as overt as they are today, but as an adult with a discerning mind that can understand it and comprehend, go back and listen to some of that music from back in the day. I mean, y'all got to think about this. Do y'all not remember "Color Me Bad"?
Oh
Sex
yeah.
You Up was the number
That
one
was one of
song
my
in the
favorites.
and
That was-
how many of y'all, you know what I'm saying, when y'all were little, middle school age, most of y'all would have been middle school age when that track came out, middle school, maybe high school, singing "Color Me Bad," sex You Up.
100%. 100%.
And it was the number one song in the country. Everybody was singing this song. Kids were singing it. Everybody dancing, making dances up to it and everything.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie,
You-
I was a
wait,
bumps
Wise,
in
do you
the
remember
rug kinda
Informer?
guy.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That
Like
was
my bumps
so
in the rug.
inappropriate.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's why I say there's nothing new under the sun about
I
music.
was music box. I was music box all day. Dodging bumps in the rump, and things like that. All right, watching these music videos coming up. The music video was better than the actual song, especially the southern ones.
So you telling us back in the day you was staying up late watching that BET After Dark, wasn't you?
Dark. Yes, he was. He was definitely the
trust
person of watching BT After Dark.
Trust me,
It
down
makes
here.
so much more sense now. This makes so much more sense now.
Listen to all my southern people. All right, we was jam pony down here. Come on, ride the train. Don't act like you don't know. Come on, ride the train and ride it. All right.
But why?
You know what I'm
Wise,
talking about,
wise.
Crystal, 'cause
I was
you
going
up
to
there
say
in
this
Georgia.
is why I understand why now, because when I was younger, I didn't understand why my parents, like, I had to sneak to listen to those songs because they would not, like, I wanted to, and I had to go to like the cousin or the whatever bedroom to try and listen to it because my parents would have never let me listen to that. And I'm like, y'all are so unfair,
same.
so uncool. But now I understand why they.
Now you understand they were trying to save your behind, and you wasn't trying to listen.
I wasn't trying to be saved at that
My
point.
parents,
Mhm.
my parents would
Okay,
let
well,
us listen to secular music, is what they would say. Like we could not listen to secular music,
Yep.
could not bring that into the house. So we'd sneak, or we'd like hide tapes. I'd go visit my mom for the weekend, and I would be like sneaking a tape with me. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
So you remember back when you watched those movies like the Tina Turner story and all of those stories where when the people came from the church and they could sing and Motown and they would be like, no, that's the devil's music. That's it. And
Yep.
we
Yeah.
always were taught to look on that as how small-minded the people were and how they had a dream to sing. And now you look at it and you go, maybe those people had something. Maybe they knew something we didn't know.
No, they definitely did. And the thing is, the music's been demonic for a long time. Let's just
Yeah.
call
Oh,
it what it is.
yeah.
And
Oh,
it's,
yeah.
and that's
Since the
all
beginning of
genres.
time.
Rap,
For
R&B,
That part.
rock. I mean, go and listen to, if you guys grew up on MTV back in the day when they actually played music videos, go listen to go back and listen to some of that music from back then. I mean, it was all debaucherous. It was all demonic. We just
Really?
didn't see it and didn't understand it for what it was.
Nope.
We just didn't. And we also didn't really understand the power that music has.
Right.
But I'm almost 100% for certain that the powers that be, they definitely understood the power
Oh yes.
that it has. They
Oh,
definitely
absolutely.
understood it. And they've weaponized it, against the masses.
And that's
They
why the
definitely
world And that's why the world looks like the way it does. Because I am sure they had a goal set out and a plan, and they wanted, let's just say, America to look a certain way. They wanted the toxic feminist movement. Boom, they got that. They wanted men against women. Boom, they got that. They wanted the ideology of racism and of identity politics. Boom, they got that. So everything that they had goals set up to accomplish through music. They were able to accomplish that.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Cause boy, if their goal was to have me walking women around the park on the first date, they got that.
Oh my gosh.
You know what I'm saying?
They won with you.
They got me. Let me tell you, man, this is ridiculous. Foodie dates and long walks. You know what I'm saying? That's what I get.
But they still Taco Bell.
Hey, you can't go wrong. The ladies in the chat said they love the tacos. I'm a big taco fan myself. So, my wife already knows, like, hey, I say, hey, you gonna do lunch? Like, where you want to go? You know where I want to go? Yeah, my favorite restaurant. I'm a cheap date. Couple tacos, I'm golden.
Listen, Crystal trying to convince somebody, I'm a taco girl, and I
don't
just
like
want a
Taco Bell.
carpenter like Jesus and all this other stuff. Listen, you don't want no man that work with his hands like Jesus, and you don't want no tacos. Ain't nobody trying to hear that.
Yes, I do. I want a man that works with his hands. I want a man that knows the word of God and knows when I'm going through something, how to put his hands on me and lay his hands and pray over me and war in the spirit for me, to protect and cover me. I want a man that understands that I cannot be bought, that it is about love and the way he treats me. It's not about your bank account, because your bank account could be here today and gone tomorrow. So your money means nothing. I want to know that we can laugh together, because when we reach 80, 90, I want to be able to sit on the porch and laugh with you, not be sitting down here looking at you, waiting for you to stop breathing because I can't stand you. I want that type of man. I want a man, yes, that knows how to build, because then he understands the art of building, and he'll want to build our relationship to the heights that we want it to go. That's what I want. So no, I don't play the whole fancy suit, the money, I really don't care about that. That has never been the thing. And you know why? And you want to know why? Because that is how my grandfather was, and that is how my father is. And I respect those men, and those are some very great men. So I will never put down a man.
The man you just described only lives in a Tyler Perry movie. You do understand that, right?
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. And that's what you think. That's what you think. No, he actually does exist. And one day you will see Crystal and him together. It wouldn't be Crystal and Rolando, because you're crazy. And I would be waiting for you to not be able to breathe. I would be counting on the days.
Oh my God.
This is going off the rails. We getting out of here. It's 12 o'clock. I told folks we were not going to be past 12. It's 12:01.
Yep.
We in overtime now. This is the late shift. We trying to go home. We got to get off now. Okay. We got to get up out of here.
I just hope Crystal got her order in for her man before Christmas. You know what I'm saying? Because God's kind of busy this year. He's got a lot going on with Trump and tariffs and everything.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
Got to get that order in. I put my order in. You know what I'm saying? I want a 5 or 6 who doesn't mind being walked around the lake on a leash. That's my order. What's your order?
I can dig it. And with that being said, we are going to get out of here. Thank you guys, man. Before this thing goes off the rails for another hour, thank you guys for pulling out spaces. Hadassah, Dion, Celeste, Rolando, Crystal, thank you guys for pulling up, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat. All the folks on the different platforms out there, man. Shout out to you guys. Thank you all for supporting the channel today, supporting what we're doing over here at the Late Shift. We're building the plane as we fly, as you can see. We're still trying to figure this thing out, but slowly but surely, we're going to get there.
We get there.
All right?
We get there.
We're going to get there. So thank you guys so much for pulling up today, man. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. We'll see y'all next week, man, for the Late Shift, man. Wednesday. Actually, you know what? Wednesday's a holiday. We're probably not going to have a show next week because I'm going to be on vacay. But we'll be back the following week. We'll be back the following week because it's a holiday. That's a holiday week. So we'll be back the following week. So we'll catch up with y'all, man. We appreciate you guys, man. Keep God first. Stay prayed up. Y'all take care, man. Peace.
Good night.
Night.
Dogs got whisper, they sing, they call. Under street lights, my grind stands tall. It's the Late Shift crew, you already know. Handling this, stacking chips, money flow. It's what it is. Don't play with me.